see I got somebody in the chat already. So hang in there with me while I get set up here. It's just a little impromptu thing. Mikey's here already too. And I got a little housekeeping to do before I'm ready to start actually paying attention. So hang in there with me, guys, and we'll see what happens. So Tim Robinson, hey buddy. Well, you're watching my live stream and now you get the real deal. Hey, I see I got somebody in the chat already. So, all right, turn off my echo. Drone Worship the Revolution. Hello, how are you? Welcome to this little impromptu session. Let me shut this music off here. We don't need that anymore. Okay, and bear with me a second here while I get my head together. This was not really planned out real well. No countdown, no nothing. Just push the button, go live, and here I am. So yeah, I know the music was a little loud. I just killed it. I'll tell you what, I'm going to put it back on and I'm going to adjust the volume of it, and I want you to tell me if this is a better level for the music. All right, how about right there? If I leave it there for my future broadcasts, does that sound like a pretty good level for the music? Well, guys, you're on the ball. I no sooner pushed the button than you were there. Now, what I'm really looking to do here is I'm really looking to have some people chime in with me on Hangouts, and I want to integrate that into this because there's some audio issues that I need to work through. It's not a simple thing to do. So, if anybody wants to chime in, I'm sure somebody will sooner or later. Be my guest. Love to have you. How the heck do you guys keep up to date with folks' subs video? Oh man, Tim, that's a great question, and I don't have a lot of subs, and I wonder. I spent 2 hours today watching videos of some of the people that sub to me, and left a lot of comments, but it's hard. In fact, I don't understand how somebody that has like 80,000 subs can actually keep up with that stuff, because you can only watch so many videos. You can just watch so many videos. Drone Worship the Revolution. You want to bring me into this Hangouts. And why does it, I don't know what it tells me it's held for review. I don't know why it did that, but yeah, okay. All right. Let me set up the Hangout, so you guys just give me a minute. First thing I'm gonna do is I want to get the live chat up on the screen there. So I got to put in the right URL for it, and hopefully that'll. Oh, it didn't do it. So why didn't it do it? Let me see, live chat and properties. Oh, I see why. Just give me a break. Bear with me. We'll try to turn this into a little show too. So here we go. Here is the chat, and you guys should see the chat up there now. And now let me get that email address. Where is it? I know you put the email address. Here it is. Okay, got the email address. Now I need to open me a Hangouts window and invite you. Why won't it let me invite you? Oh, you didn't put the comment there. Now we're cooking. Okay. All right, you're gonna get an invite, and we're gonna see if you show up in the chat, and we'll see what happens. Ah, there you are. Okay.
What's up? I'm actually going to turn my camera off. All right.
Okay. What's your first name? What's your first name?
Daniel.
Daniel. Okay, Daniel. Hey, welcome. Thanks for showing up. And I see the chat's already getting way ahead of me. So let me do this. Let me see if I can get this this Hangouts window into OBS here. So if you give me a break for 1 second here.
I'm fairly sure everybody that watches you knows me.
Okay.
I'm a fairly larger channel. So.
Did I meet? You're in Tampa?
What's that? Yeah, I'm in Tampa.
Did I meet you at the Sulphur Springs Tower flying a FPV one day?
Maybe. I actually live in that area, so I do fly at the tower quite often.
Well, Bill the drone reviewer had a little fly-in out there in September.
Ah.
And we went out there, and we went out there, and I'm sorry, I'm trying to talk and think here at the same time.
You're good.
Yeah, but okay.
Hold on a second. There we go. Okay.
All right.
All right. So you're off camera now, right?
Yes. Yeah. My camera's not active.
Okay. Let me transition over. So now we're looking at the Hangouts window. And let me take a second while you get back and say hi to everybody. Steve Carpenter, how you doing, my friend?
Thanks
for dropping in. This is not crack at dawn like the other one. David Maxwell, hello.
Peter,
how are you? How are you? Good to see you. Mike is here from PhillyDroneLife. That's great. That's great. Can you all see and hear the Hangouts window? And is there any echoes on my part? Steve Carpenter says echo. Okay. Here we go. Let's see.
Let the fun begin.
Yeah. That's a problem because the Hangouts actually has a slight delay.
Yes, it does.
And it's mixing in with my regular audio. So one of the things that I can do is if I change the microphone on the Hangouts to my webcam,
see if maybe that echo goes away. So did
that make the echo go away?
Well, I'll tell you what, it made your sure sound a lot different.
Yeah, because I'm talking to a webcam over my
yeah.
But
I know.
The audio that's going out on the stream is the audio from my good microphone. And I have a hard time trying to figure out how to do this.
I understand.
Yeah,
and that's why I came on this afternoon. I still can't see you.
Oh, well, that's because I have my camera off.
Oh, okay.
All right.
It's only because I'm at work. Actually, Steve Carpenter, a lot of these guys know me. So.
I'm sure everybody does. And hey, Paul Murray's in. How are you, Paul? And Tim Robinson says it's still echoing. Okay, let me try something here, and I'm just going to turn off. I think I understand what I need to do. Okay, now, did that stop the echo? Test 1 2 3 1 2 3. And is my sound level okay? It's really something that these live streams all turn into technical sessions.
Sure. That's why I just do Hangouts.
Hey, Rodney, how are you? Echo gone. Okay, all right. Well, that's good. Now I'm going to try to go back into Hangouts and change it back into my regular other mic and see if that makes it better. And hopefully we'll have no echo now. How's that? Can you hear me on the Hangouts?
Oh yeah, you sound way better now.
Okay, and they can hear me on the live stream. And Steve, sounds good, David Maxwell said. Okay, all right, well, that's great. Okay, I could probably crank my mic gain up just a little bit here. The problem for me with this is that in my headphones, I'm getting the echo from the Hangouts.
Oh, boy.
And that happened to me the last time, and we ended up going for like 5 hours on this stream.
Got to get a good system down.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty complicated when you try to use OBS instead of just going with Hangouts itself. You know, you can stream live from YouTube to Hangouts, and in that case, you don't have all the control. You can't have all the fancy scenes. You can't do all that other stuff.
Sure. I don't care about any of that. My job's to entertain the people. That's why I don't use OBS.
Well, I'm not. I need all the help. I need all the help I can get.
I hear you. I'd be more than happy to talk you through how to make that work out better for you.
What, integrating the Hangouts into OBS?
No, just being yourself, man. I don't rely on all the equipment to make me. It's more about personality, dude. Just friendly with everybody, talk to everybody, communicate, show up. You know, you were talking about how hard it is. I mean, I'm coming up on 10,000, and you were talking about how hard it is to, you know, show up in everybody's videos and be supportive. And the reality of it is you can't. So here's what you do. You just check your subscriber list every day. You go to your channel, you check subscriptions, you comment, you watch what you can, you do what you can. Everybody understands you can't watch 10,000 videos a day. It doesn't happen. It's not mathematically possible to do that. So once you come to that conclusion, it makes it a little easier to say, you know what, guys, hey, you know, I watch what I can and I do what I can to support everybody, man. Just be yourself, be friendly, put your personality out there, and you'll make friends.
No, you made some good points. I appreciate that. Unfortunately, I'm a gadget guy. I always have been. So that's why I'm into all this RC stuff.
Right.
So I like that. So let's see who we got here in the chat. We got DroneLife RC. Welcome. Good to see you. Let me switch over to another page here. I got 12 people watching now. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Unbelievable. You know,
so everybody can hear me now?
I think so. Can everybody hear everything from the Hangouts window? Mike Kelly, how are you, my friend? Anybody else wants to join in on this Hangouts chat, just give me an email and we'll get you in here.
Yeah, Mr. Carpenter. Join us.
Yeah, Steve, join us. Come on. See if I get 4 or 5 of you guys, and I can go off and take a nap, and then you guys can, you know.
Yeah, we can hold it together for you. I'm with that.
Yeah. There's a message. Rodney, you can join in if you'd like. Paul, you can join in. And anybody. Paul, did you say yes? I'm looking for another yes from Paul.
What's going on, Mike?
Well, going once. No, you know what? I think I'll just send him an invite anyway and see what happens. Well, I got to get his email address. Paul Murray. There it is. And there we are. Okay, we'll see if Paul does it. And I'm getting a phone call. So if you just excuse me for a second.
Sure, I'll entertain the masses.
It's a business thing, and I will send a text.
Lucky us.
Yes, gotta keep after the business.
Oh, I know all about that.
I'm live streaming now. Okay. So I sent an invite to Paul. Paul, did you get the invite? I'm pretty sure that I did. Let's try it again. Okay. Invite. All right. Did it again. Okay. Covers drones from Colombia. Well, welcome. Did the last time I did this, we ended up with people from all over the world. We had Spike from Australia. That was a free.
I love Spike. Spike is awesome. He's a lot of fun.
Yeah. You know what? I think I'm going to have to, instead of doing the invite, I think I'm going to have to
email them the link.
Email him the link. Yeah. So let me go find my email program here.
I run enough shows on my channel to know that that's just the best way to do it, man. Just email them the link.
Roger Price. Hello. How are you? Let's see here. Email to, let's get the right account. What did I just do? Get the right account and compose to oh boy. Okay, Paul, I just sent you the link in an email. I think, if I'm not mistaken, you have to have the Hangouts window open already to receive an invite, or not?
Yes.
You do?
It works easier that way. Yes.
Yeah, I'm so new to Hangouts that
believe it or not, Hangouts is actually phasing out. It's turning into what's called Meet.
Yeah, I heard that. But then I read something, or somebody said that it wasn't really in the immediate future. It was coming down the road. They're trying to turn it more into a commercial enterprise.
Oh, you knew that was going to happen. How dare we be able to use free panels? Oh,
yeah, imagine that. Yeah. Google, Google's not making enough money. They YouTube. Hey, okay, Paul showed up. I heard that. Hi, Paul. How are you? Somebody said that it wasn't really in the immediate future.
Okay, somebody's got their speakers too loud.
Somebody's got their live stream unmuted.
You knew that was going to happen. How dare we be able to use free panels?
Oh, yeah, imagine that. Paul, did you mute your live stream on the computer? Hey, okay, Paul showed up. Yeah, I'm getting a delay from you, Paul. It's from your computer. You're watching the live stream and not the Hangouts window.
Okay, I think we got it solved.
Okay, all right. Okay, good. Yeah, that's everybody does it, and the first few times I chimed in on live streams, I was just as guilty too. Rodney Bell, do I have your email address? I don't think so. So you can, if it's not a secret, you can just put it in the chat, or you can email it to me at oldguyanadrone@gmail.com. And
yes,
I'll send you a link.
All of you uploading content to your channel that wants to be found by other people or communicated with by sponsorships, make sure that you're putting a usable email address in the description of all of your videos. Even a throwaway account. You can create one just for YouTube.
That's good advice. Yeah, that's good advice. Okay, so I need Rodney's email address, and I'm waiting to see. Rodney, you with me on that? Oh, here it is. Okay, he put it in here. Okay. I need to start making you guys moderators. I'm a little behind on that. Okay, let's try to invite.
Okay, so Rodney, if he sends you an invite, you need to have a second window open, ready for Google Hangouts, signed in to the email address that you gave him. If he sends it through email, then you just click on the link that he sends you. So
okay, well, I'm going to try it, and we'll see what happens. I'm going to click it right now. So it went out to you, and just let me know if you can't do it that way. Then I'll just email you the link.
There you go. We will get this figured out together.
Yeah. Hey, help at home. How are you, my friend? Thanks for stopping by. Fly Natural. Boy, I'll tell you, this is a much better time of day to do this. You get a lot of people that where it isn't the middle of the night. I'll do that morning thing for a while and see how it goes. That way, I'm not competing with everybody in their live streams.
Well, here's how I look at it. You got people halfway across the world that will watch you all night into the AM, and then you got people that will watch you at PM time for you because they just got off of work. So, I mean, there's an upside to both sides of that scale. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and since it is global, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. So,
exactly.
Yeah. Well, I've been a YouTuber for a whole 10 weeks now.
Whoa.
Yeah, 10 weeks. I started this thing. I can't believe it. December the 9th. In fact, I'm just preparing a video that I'll have done in a day or two, which is going to be my a kind of a recap of how little I knew and my first 10 weeks on YouTube and all that I've been through and what I think I've learned from it, for what it's worth. Been quite interesting. Paul, you still with us?
Oh, yeah, I'm here. I'm just watching and learning.
Well, that's why you're here, so we can learn something.
Us newbies, Roger coaxed me and coaxed me and coaxed me and coaxed me after all the time I've been on YouTube. I just thought nobody wanted to see this old man's mug on face to face.
Have you got a speaker on? You're not wearing headphones. You got your speaker on there because I'm hearing an echo from you. Yeah, so maybe turn your volume down just a little bit would probably help that. And Rodney Bell says, how do you open Hangouts? Well, Rodney, I just emailed you a link. There he is. He's here. Okay. All right. Rodney Bell, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, man. And there is the appearance of Mitch's sound effects machine. And I have to control myself because it's just too much fun.
So Rodney, Paul, how's it hanging?
We're here.
How you doing, Paul?
I'm here. I'm trying to figure out on Hangouts where I speaker is how to the volume.
Well, you can just change at the bottom of your browser or wherever on your computer, wherever you adjust your master volume, you can turn that down.
Okay. Hey, Rodney, you are currently turned your mic off, man. There's a mic and a camera button right in front of you. Go ahead and activate your mic. Just click on the little mic button and it'll turn you back on.
There's a mic button to the left of the red hang up button, and it has a little slash through it. If you click that, it'll turn your mic on. There you go.
There you go.
Okay. Talk to us.
Oh, no, his earphones now are not plugged into the computer or something.
Oh. Oh, he's muted the mic again. Now it's off. Can you hear us, Rodney? I can't hear you. Do you have a microphone? Do you have the proper microphone set in Hangouts?
Okay, I was going to say, so funny enough, I can hear him, but he sounds extremely low volume, so he probably needs to adjust his settings in Hangout.
Yeah, he's wearing a headset, and you may want to go into the gear icon on Hangouts, and it'll show you what your microphone, your camera, and the audio output from your computer, and change the. Oh, somebody's giving me a call, Mike. He's calling me, and my cell phone's ringing. Mike, just sit there with Hangouts, and I'll invite you. Okay, let's get Rodney straightened out first. Do you see that where it says microphone? Make sure you've selected the mic on your headset. I see your lips moving, but I don't hear you.
Just because I'm weird, pet your beard once if it's yes, pet your beard twice if it's no.
Mike's trying to call in. You can't, Mike. You can't call in that way. I have to send you an invite because otherwise we'll have a thing. So let me do that real quick for Mike. Mikey gets excited.
Mikey is excited.
Oh, I love him. He's a great guy. All right, here we go.
Is this the night train we're talking about? Night train?
Pardon me?
Are we talking about night train, Michael?
No, PhillyDroneLife.
Oh, shit. Hey, Mitch.
Hey, Mike.
I opened it on my phone. Now what do I do?
Well,
Stupid ass.
You're stuck. Well, hang up.
Okay, then open it on.
And I'll invite you again.
Okay, hang up.
Okay.
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. Your phone looks absolutely great, and so does your audio. I would just use it.
Oh, we got him on. We've been playing around with it, and he's got a notebook there. And
he actually has a. You know what, Dan? I appreciate that. What I'm going to do is I'm expecting people coming in. So when they come in, Mitch, I'll let you know. You can hang up, and then I'll go to the phone and I can go out of my car.
No, you got to hang up. You got it. You hang up.
Okay. Hanging up.
Buddy. Thomas Sullivan, how are you? Thanks for stopping by, my friend. I see what we got going. We got 16 people in this little thing, and we got Hangouts working pretty good. Where'd happened to Rodney? Rodney disappeared.
Right.
Oh, what happened to Rodney? Well, we tried. Let me take a second and catch up on the chat here. I want to start making some of you guys moderators because that's the way I'm doing this. So we got Tim Robinson. Tim Robinson said, email me a link if you don't mind. Okay. All right, Tim. We'll break the back of Hangouts here.
I've actually been wanting to talk to Tim. Tim is very supportive of my channel, man. He bounces around, but he's very supportive.
Oh, great. Well, let's see if we can get him in here. Mike is texting me now. Man, talk about a one-arm paper hanger. All right, now let's grab the link here and put it in the email and send it. Okay, Tim, link's on its way. We got room. Rodney's, I see he's back, but I don't see any picture or anything.
No life in Rodney.
No, unfortunately. Mike Roche is here. Mike says that he changed his YouTube name because of me, and I'm trying to figure out why. What did I do?
Okay, another piece of advice for all of you that are here. The worst thing you can ever do after you've established an algorithm for yourself is change your name.
Really?
You basically start all over from scratch when you bust that algorithm by changing your name. The only time that it works out in your favor is if you leave the original part of your name there and add to it because you've already established an algorithm for whatever you've built so far.
Well, that's what Mike Roche did. He changed it from Mike Roche to Mike Roche Studios.
There you go. So he's still safe, but for all of you that are considering a name change in the future, don't do it now.
Rodney is said something on the chat. Try inviting me again. Okay.
Lucky we love you, Rodney.
I love all you guys. This is great. So I got to find Rodney's email address again. Oh God.
Paul, I love the dumb look on your face right now, man. I can't tell what you're staring at, but it looks great.
Well, what I'm doing is I'm getting used to looking over here at chat and looking over here at the screen and looking up at the camera.
Aha.
You know, you guys have been doing it a while. You're good at it, but
I don't even think about it anymore, man. I just commit.
Hey, Rodney, you're going to have to put your email address in again. I can't find it in the chat. So, yeah, just send it on again. The Tank RC sent me an email too. So how many do you think we can get into this free-for-all?
Okay, so you're allowed 14. However, after 6 or 7, it starts getting overwhelming and nobody can talk because they tread on top of each other.
Oh, yeah.
Tank is a good dude, though.
I agree.
Tank's a friendly Canadian.
Let's get Rodney in here. So Rodney, I'm waiting for him. Oh God! And Mike's calling me
Again.
Hey, Mike. I'm on my cell phone. You're going to have to let me call you. You can't call me. Okay? So
sorry, my fault.
That's right. Hang up, turn off your cell phone, and I'm going to call you. Okay. Bye. Let me see if I have an appropriate sound affair for this.
You can do any devil noise.
Here's a good one. my favorite one. Oh, I'm not the only one with one of these. My favorite one of these is the Arnold Schwarzenegger thing here.
See, now that's my favorite voice too. Actually, whenever I do the workout room stuff, I actually go ahead and do that myself. Like when I'm pumping 50s, I think anybody that lifts heavy, man, they always make Arnold noises. You know what I'm saying? That's my favorite thing to do is just go into a gym room and grab a set of weights I can't lift and be like, you know.
Well, that's a good impression because that sounds exactly like what I just played here.
Exactly.
Where was it? The Nader, it's called.
That's actually the guy from SNL who does impressions of Arnold. I know it very well because he does a very, very funny skit, and that is the guy from Mad TV at the time. He's funny though. He does a whole skit where he's like, I'm the Supernator, super intestinal, mega mobic movie man, you know, and he does this whole like rant skit about it. But yeah, it's really funny stuff. So if you've never seen it, look up the SNL Terminator skits. They're pretty good.
Okay, let me make Tim Robinson a moderator. I'm having a hard time. Hey, JDS Quads, how are you? Thanks for stopping by to another one of these Mayhem Madhouses things. This is funny. I found this sound effect, and I'm going to have to figure out a way to work it in maybe at the beginning or the end of the shows, but this is cool.
Offer no purchase necessary. Offer valid at participating locations. Void where prohibited. No animals were harmed during the production of this soundboard. Subject to change without notice. Side effects include dry mouth, occasional pig snort or two, sore stomach, teary eyes, achy jaws, and whatever tingles well. Laughing heart.
How about that?
It may cause a tumor.
I found this app.
Mitch, that would be good at the end of your broadcast.
Yeah. And I finally found the one that I was looking for when Spike was on, and I couldn't find this stupid thing.
Crikey.
Yeah, you need some Steve Irwin in there. Look at him in his natural environment.
Okay, well, we'll give. Why doesn't JDS? I gave you a wrench, and now when I click on it, it says remove moderator. Well, let me try removing you and adding you back in again.
My boy JDS.
Try that, JDS. See if you don't become a moderator. There we go.
Got love for JDS.
I'll tell you what. Okay, where's Rodney? Somebody just popped up. Rodney Bell's logo did. Okay. Well, that's a start.
Guess who's back? Back again. Rodney's
Rodney. Back. He needs to fire up his camera and his mic. So,
Mitch, I have a question. Is how come your logo is up there in one of the boxes, but the mic is cut? Is that your alter ego, Eric?
No. What happened was I opened up that when I first opened up the Hangouts window, that showed up when I pasted it into OBS, and I'm afraid to go to it and hang up because I may blow the whole thing.
Okay.
So he'll be quiet, I promise. Hugo Aerodrome in the house. How are you, my friend? Well, we're going international now. Let me check up. Everybody's a mod now, I think. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. Steve Carpenter. How come you're not a moderator? No, he's a moderator. Okay. All right.
Steve.
All right. So guys, talk.
Hi.
I see Tim is here, but I don't see your face. I just see your logo.
Well, gentlemen, what would you like to talk about? The dark side, the DJI, the new transmitter, fly sky, fry sky. What do you make a choice? GPS, non-GPS, ROVs, Traxxas. A lot of stuff out there to chat about, gentlemen.
Yeah, go right ahead. But I don't see Rodney Bell's face, Tim, and I don't see your face. Do you have your camera turned on?
Who's flying X-wing, X-class?
No money.
Anybody have the new DJI smart controller?
No, and never will.
I bought one, had it for a few days, and blew it off on eBay. Just because it was nice, I don't think it gave me quite the control range that my regular controller with my Mavic or my Enterprise.
All right, hold on. Let me lower this.
Okay, Mike, mute your.
I got it. It's
okay,
muted.
good. How you doing, buddy?
Very good, very good. I'm a pro at this now. You kidding me? It's like my third time.
Yeah, well, that notebook looks a hell of a lot better than your cell phone does. That's for sure.
Does this look okay? I don't know how. Where do I look at myself? Oh, okay, down here. Okay.
Yeah, you don't need to look at yourself.
No, I want to see what the lighting look like. You know, I'm a professional now.
I know. We're all professionals. This is professional show business, everybody.
Yeah, I'm a pro now.
Yeah, we're
look out,
professional broadcasting.
Look out, Danny. I'm coming for you. I got like 650.
Nice, bro. Making climbs up there, I see, man. Social ladder's starting to come down to your level. I'm feeling it.
I'm telling you, man. God bless you, dude. I wish I lived closer to you, dude. We'd fly every day, man.
I invite anyone traveling through Florida to stop and fly with me, man. If I can make time, I will. I'll let you test all my products, bro. You can come play with anything I got, dude. Except for that. That's my girlfriend's.
Hey, yeah.
Anything but that.
Hey,
right?
listen, I wanted to ask you a question. What did you say about the email only when you're doing a review, or when you do a video, you should always put your email in?
Anytime you upload any content that is related to talking about a product, you always want to add a email address, even if it's a throwaway email that you don't care about, that you know you're going to get spammed from people viewing it and, you know, sending you stupid stuff.
Okay.
Just create yourself a throwaway account. That's what I use for like Tampa Lifestyle. I have Hungry Dan's Got to Eat, the Toothpick of Doom. Like I have all these wonderful ones that I use as throwaway emails. That way I can just join stuff without worrying about people sending me just crazy stuff to like a work account or one I've had since I was a kid or something like that, you know?
Gotcha. Thank you, Danny.
Yes,
Asgard wants to know where his invite is.
Did you check with Loki?
No, I'll send them one. Rodney has been having all kinds of trouble. He's been coming and going. Tim said he had to quit Hangouts. He's on a separate head up. All right. Well, let me get an invite here to Hugh. We always like Hugh from Asgard. And
wait a minute. What about Steve? I want Steve to come in here. Steve Carpenter, come on, bro.
Steve, I haven't seen him in the chat for a while. He may be gone.
Grr.
Let me.
He might be sipping Mai Tais already.
No, not that you're any less important, Hugh. Okay, we love you too, bro. But Steve was here first.
Yeah.
Oh, Rodney says maybe next time. Yeah, Rodney. What we should do is what I did with Mike in Philly. Is when we're not on the air, I'll send you an email or something, and we'll set up a time where we can practice getting on and off of the Hangouts.
Well, what I have noticed is sometimes somebody will send me an invite and it doesn't come, and it takes a long time, but it comes to my personal email, and I copy that go over to Hangouts, paste it into the first screen, and then I'm headed there. But some guys I know that they can get the email into their Hangouts and go that way, but it doesn't work for me for some reason.
So Francois Simard, the Tank RC, sent me an email.
I love Tank.
To invite him into the chat. I just sent one to Hugh, so let me send him one too. Hold on a second. I just got to get the link.
You know, Mitch, if it gets too crowded too, I can back out at any time.
Well, I'm going to sit back.
I'm the old guy.
I'm going to sit back and listen, Paul. Let these guys have at it. And
I would love to, but I got to get constructive. We got to have people that. Okay, who's really into drones here?
I am.
Okay, who am I talking to? Mike?
Yeah, Mike. All
right, Mike. What do you fly?
I fly all the DJI stuff, Dan. Mainly the Phantom 4 Pro, the Mavic 2 Pro, and the Mavic. I know. I hate, as much as I hate the company, I love their drones. They're the best. They're the top of the top. And
I hear you.
They're dependable, and the places I fly, I need something that's coming back, and I need something to that's not going to just go do what it wants to do. You know what I mean?
I have never had a drone do that. Never.
No. Okay. Well, I can't say that I have because I haven't flown anything else. But
Mike, I agree with Mike only in the fact that I've been flying since the late '80s, and my first one has a chainsaw motor, and the top rotor was about 5 feet, and there wasn't any computer assist, there wasn't any GPS satellite control, and you kept it in the air. An old guy might remember this. You kept it in the air for 5 minutes. You were a hero.
Yeah, you guys were going by voltage. I remember that.
Yep, and so then I moved into all different Walkira to Align. I had a large scale Align hexacopter and all of those things, and I've converted over, as you can see up here, DJI, right. And I was flying Inspires and all kinds of different. Now I'm into the Mavic and the Mavic 2, and I just got my Mavic Enterprise. So.
Oh wow. Yeah, they're so stable. They're so incredible, and I don't like the company. I don't like their business model, but my God, I watch a ton of videos, and I've flown their drones. They're so freaking stable. Oh my God, and they're incredible. Now, with that being said, I did pick up race drones about a year ago just to make me a better camera pilot, and oh my God, talk about tough. Trying FPV as a 50-year-old is just amazing. I mean,
welcome to the dark side.
Oh, tell me about it. Tell you, dude, my son got it in 2 days, the 21-year-old. Within 2 days, he was flying FPV and doing backflips through trees. And 2 months later, I had a folding chair in the middle of a football field because I was throwing up. I was getting sick. I could not hover this thing on all the auto levels. And so it took me about 4 or 5 months and finally kicked it into acro. And oh my God, you want to talk about an adrenaline rush. And my God, so I started buying all the 100-mile-an-hour race drones and going to parks and zipping by people's heads. And then I was like, oh, you know what? It's just too much. My God, it was so much excitement, and I just needed to calm down. And at that point, DJI came out with their Mavic 2. And the worst thing I could have done was I've actually bought two because I didn't decide. I didn't know which one I wanted, the Zoom or the Pro. So I figured I'd get them both and I'd send one back. Neither one of them made it back. I kept them and now my credit card's gone.
Now yeah. You've said all that wonderful stuff, and I've heard and I've listened.
Okay.
And I've heard all the DJI arguments about stability platforms and all that fun jazz. But have you considered that I haven't upgraded my drone in 5 years? I haven't bought anything new. You know why that is?
Are you talking about that 3DR thing, please?
Oh, baby.
Please don't bring that up.
Oh, my gosh, man. I haven't had to upgrade anything new because 2 months after new technology drops, somebody writes code for it, somebody builds a part, we slap it in. We don't need to upgrade.
Yeah, but see, don't you think that there's two kinds of people, maybe three, but at least two primary kinds of pilots. The guys that want to fly a stable, don't have to fix, don't have to figure out how to program, don't want to figure out all that stuff. And then there's the guys that enjoy doing all the fixing and programming and figuring this out and figuring that out. And God bless them, but I wasn't built that way.
Yeah, same here. And I'll tell you what, that's why I stopped the race drone, because as you know, a 50-year-old took 4 months to fly. I went through 25 drones. And
25 drones?
Yeah, and I had to learn how to put the new motors on and reattach the VTX. And guys, let me tell you something. I lost 20 years of my life trying to build my first drone because oh my God! But I finally got it. But I didn't have no direction. I had no guidance. So everything I had to pull from was from 1,000 different videos and who was right and who was wrong. So I basically had to learn from my mistakes, and it gets very, very frustrating when all you want to do is get in the air, and here you are trying to learn how to, how to flip the wires so that the motors turn the right direction.
But see, for me, that's the fun of it, man. It's because it teaches you such an incredible learning curve.
You are
like you learn so much from your failures. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things that helps you understand the physics of drones better, the electronics of how they work. It makes you study and do research. It makes you a better pilot in a sense.
I would have to agree with you there. I'll tell you, everybody knows, there's no dad in this house. I'm the only male. And so it made me feel like such a man, and I was building stuff. I mean, I loved the feeling of it, and especially building your first drone and seeing it fly. Oh my God. I was just telling somebody, my first drone that I hovered, I danced around it and did the fire dance. Oh my God, fire. I was so freaking happy that the thing actually worked, but after a while, my point was, after you smash them and you build them and then you smash them, I just wanted to fly. It was like, come on, I just want to be in the air. And you do get better. You don't smash him as much, but, like I said, I got back into the Mavic 2, and oh my God, it was just peaceful serenity again. And so it may change, Dan, because when the weather gets nice, the race drones will come back out.
You know what race drones taught me?
Talk to me.
Don't crash.
Yeah, right.
So let me say hello to Hugh, who's joined us. How are you? The Tank RC is with us. How you doing?
Doing good.
What's up, Tank RC?
Mikey, let somebody else get a word in edgewise.
Yes, I will. Hello, Hugh.
What's up, guys?
Hey, Asgard.
Mr. Studios, what's going on, brother?
Yeah, not too much. Not too much.
Heck yeah.
Just finishing my workday. Relaxing.
How's the home front?
Good.
Good to
Can't
hear.
complain.
Tank, how about you, my friend? I was just on with you last night, so.
Yeah, that's
How you
true.
been? Yeah.
I was just about on my way out of work to go home, and I saw you guys online. I said, hey, I guess I'm doing overtime, and I'm going to stay a little bit at work just to be on with you guys.
Oh, good. Andrew from Pusa Studios.
Welcome to Mitch's Magic Channel.
Another Canuck. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, we got half of Canada here.
Who's Canadian in here?
Guilty.
Cool.
Who else?
Yeah, who else is Canada here?
Well, I live right across the border from Sarnia.
That's close enough.
We'll call you honorary Canadian, Paul.
There you go. There you go.
I'm more of a ground guy. I have lots of RC. I have close to 50 RCs, but they're all ground, all different. I do own a Spark now, which I've won 2 weeks ago. So I have a GGI Spark.
Oh, very cool.
I've owned before those little toy drone more than anything. But I like flying. It's fun. But I'm scared of getting into it because I know some guys that started flying drones and they stopped doing ground altogether. They just went. So I'm kind of scared. I love my ground, but it's a scale aspect I like doing of this.
I'll tell you what, man. I got out of the ground for one reason. Because they're constantly broken. You fix them, and then 2 days later it's broken. It sits on the shelf for a week while the part comes in.
You just don't know how to go.
Hey! Listen here, man. All right, I like to buy the crappy trucks like ZD Junk and see what they can do. All right, don't hate on me. I've made WL Toys 118 scale cars go 60 miles an hour. All right, so I know what I'm doing. It's just awesome when they hit a mailbox and they explode into 1,000 pieces when they're going 60. Incredible.
RC cars are just like drones. You got to learn how to drive them and learn how to stop crashing them. Didn't you earlier said that you have to stop crashing them?
Yeah, but it's more fun. Poof, parts. You know?
Mitch, how did you get the
Need for Speed?
Oh yeah.
Hey, I ought to make Andrew a moderator here. All right, Andrew, you're a moderator now. Why should you be the only white guy in the chat room? That isn't
Pusa just talked. Oh my God.
Oh, he's here, yeah.
Andrew's in the house over there on chat.
Cool.
Oh man, he's like almost the top of the pinnacle as far as entertainer.
Yeah.
I guess I reserve my right to keep that to myself. Hi,
let's just be civil here.
Yeah, our last interaction was interesting.
Oh, well. Stuff happens.
Got love for everybody.
Thomas Jordan is in the house. How are you? Let's see.
Just to let everybody here know that I usually do a called RC Talk. It's a hangout like this, but it's Thursday night at 9:30. So at 9:30, if you guys want to join in, just send me an email at thetankrc@gmail.com, and I'll be glad to send you an email with the invite.
I just show up and say #FartNation. You know I'm there. You know.
So you know that I've flown RC for 50-something years.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, before I got into drones. Yeah.
So what was it, planes or helicopters?
Both, and turbine jets, the whole 9 yards. Yeah.
Turbine jets, 300, 400 miles an hour?
I had one sport jet that did better than 250 miles an hour. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, how do you fly that? Because as soon as you see it in front of you, it's gone. Like
you fly race. No. You fly racetracks and split S's, and these new altitude laws that they just put in about this 400 feet are going to put the jets out of business because they go so fast. You hook them up, you're 2,000-3,000 feet before you come over the top and come back down again.
Yeah. I imagine there'll be exemptions though, Mitch, for for the RC fields and things like that, right?
You know what?
Have to be.
I would hope.
You know what though? I don't want to hear anything about it further than that because the AMA didn't stick up for any of the drone people. So I think this is probably karma well served. So,
but they didn't even stick up for themselves.
No, they did. They did. They struck a bargain. They just didn't realize there was stuff in between the lines they weren't reading properly. So.
Well, look, when I take my drone out to the local RC field, I feel I'm like a pariah anyway. They just generally aren't interested in the drone guys. It kind of reminds me of when the guys started doing 3D. They hang the airplane up like this and do torque rolls, and they do it right smack in the middle of the runway. In everybody's way, and then the helicopter guys would come in. So those of us at the time that were flying our planes, we used to get pissed off at them because we were always afraid of flying into them.
Yeah. Yeah, it is what it is, man. I think we all knew this day was coming with the 400-foot ruling. I don't think it's going to get any better. I think it'll end up getting worse in the end. So,
yeah, I agree.
I mean, helicopters fly 400 feet. They're going to be the next ones to complain. You know?
Yeah. I can't tell you how many times just in this last week I tried to do a flight and got all ready, did my pre-check, and looked up and saw a freaking helicopter like 200 feet off the ground around, and I've had to actually just stop. I mean, he flew by me and I could have continued the flight, but I don't want it. It's something that just shakes you up when you see something that big, so low, and God forbid you don't want to cause any problems. So yeah, I moved my location, but God, it must have happened 5 times just this 1 week, and they were really low, guys.
Yep.
I can imagine where you are.
Well,
I hardly ever see anything.
They're also traveling at a speed that you can't see in a tiny drone. You know, even if you're just sitting there hovering, they can't see you.
Correct.
By the time they register what's happened, they have about a half a second to make a decision.
Yeah.
So.
What would happen? I mean, would they? I mean, obviously, my drone would be destroyed, but would that actually cause an accident? I mean, even if it hit the rotors, it would just eat it up, wouldn't it?
I don't. Well, no. Let's say it actually makes contact with the fuselage of an actual helicopter. Let's take in the speed variation. So imagine if you jumped off of. Let's go out to the water and say that we jumped into a pool from 5 feet high, and you hit and smacked. It kind of hurt. But now let's drop you from 100 feet high onto the water. What happens?
Yeah.
Internal damage. I mean, now you take a drone that's sitting there stagnant, just hanging out in the air, and you fly a helicopter into it at 180 miles an hour. What do you think is going to happen with the fuselage?
Yeah, not good.
So
I would imagine the big concern of any helicopter pilot would be these guys on parasail gliders and the ones that have the backpack rotors. And
now we talked about that. Remember, we had to talk about the paramotors the other day. I said I don't think it's fair that the paramotors are allowed to do whatever they want without having contact with any other aircraft. They have to fly. Well, we know why they have to fly below 10,000 feet because oxygen. So can't get oxygen above. But there's no restrictions on paramotors except they have to stay 5 miles away from the airport. So what sets them apart from us? Now you actually have a manned aircraft that's up there that has no ability to communicate with towers, or you know what I'm saying? It isn't certified to communicate with towers or other aircraft, and they're just allowed to do whatever they want to. So what's the difference between my drone doing that and a paramotor doing that?
Yeah. Well, and the other thing too is they're kind of uniquely in their own category. They are a manned aircraft. Mm-hmm. But yet they are and they aren't, and they don't have any rules and regulations.
No.
I would imagine somebody's going to have to rein that in at some point too.
Oh, it will. Trust me. The first person that stops me for a flight over a certain altitude or something like that, I will see an FAA court hearing. I can't wait for the day that actually happens, man. I'd love to sit in front of a bunch of group of these guys and say, hey, there's a lot that needs to be addressed here that. If you're going to hold everybody accountable, then everybody needs to be held accountable.
And the other thing that's going to be coming too pretty soon is when Amazon and some of these other big carriers start doing drone deliveries in areas, they're going to be the first one probably screaming the loudest. It's like, what the heck is this?
Yeah.
Amazon between Amazon and the other people is that they pay business tax, I find, and when they start screaming and they say, hey, you're stopping me from employment and all that, so that's what's going to push them to get the licenses for it. Compared to us, it's just a hobby. So we can yell as much as we want. I don't think much we can move, but the companies can make things move.
Well, they're already doing it. I saw when they were having the hearings for the new FAA regulations at this huge conference table somewhere up there. It was almost all industry people. And the comment was that the AMA didn't even have a representative at that meeting. And here they are deciding drone rules. And it's the commercial users that are going to set the agenda, unfortunately.
Well, I don't know, man. Like I was saying, I think it's a very short span of time that we're actually, I don't know, man, if they're going to allow drones to really be in the air unless they're going to be commercial use for another year, I continue to see them shut it down more and more and more as we go. It's not that they're adding restrictions, it's that they're slowly shutting it down. Well, you know what I mean?
Don't you think, though, that technology is going to evolve to the point where you're going to have small little transmitters about this size that are going to tell other aircraft where you are, identify that, hey, I'm a drone, I'm flying here, and it's going to pop up on their screens. It's going to pop up on their screen.
We actually covered that. Remember? I don't know if you were in here for that discussion. We were talking about how they're about to release. I think it's like next month or maybe a month, 2 months away. But they're going to release the new GPS frequencies for drones to run on. You won't be able to run on the old frequencies, so you're either going to have to upgrade your firmware or buy a GPS now that will connect to those frequencies. And what that should allow them to do is not just be connected to a satellite, but track you through the satellite as well, so they know what drone is in the air, what the registration number is for it, so on and so forth.
Two-way.
So, yep. So that's what's happening with that. If anybody was curious about how they were going to track drones without adding or implementing in a whole bunch of extra equipment, that's the easiest way to do it.
Well, they already do that with our cell phones. That's how they track traffic movement. Yep. They track everybody's cell phone on track movement.
So previous to this, we were only able to run on a frequency of like 1.28.6. Okay, and that was our GPS frequency. That's what they were allowing us to use. And then GLONASS got introduced to things, and that's when the U.S. paired up with Russia and decided that GLONASS was okay. That just means GLONASS has been able to track everything you've been doing from the get-go anyways. However, the problem is that we've been running on frequencies that are used daily by all different things. You know what I'm saying? So what they're trying to do now is make just a set frequency for only drones to operate on. That way, they have the ability to track you. You're not branching out to other devices. Now, is that going to stop people from installing their own GPS on there that is running, whatever? Probably not. Will it work for a little while? Yeah, maybe. GPS, the DJI will probably be the first ones on board with how that's going to operate. But
well, my new Enterprise has that built in already now.
Yeah, we just say that.
Yeah, because I can turn it on and off, and I can see all the aircraft in the area, and they can see me right on my screen.
Which like I said,
a good thing, right? That's a good thing, right?
It is a good thing. I have no problem with that. I really don't. I think as long as they don't keep adding restrictions on top of that. Like, okay, now you know where we are. You have no reason to complain. You can hold people accountable for their actions. Now let us fly.
Correct.
Okay? That's where I'm going. As long as you don't keep implementing more and more restrictions on top of that.
Understood. And what I like about it is, God forbid somebody does cause an accident, at least at that point they know who the frig it is. I don't have somebody knocking on my door saying, well, you fly drones, is it you? Let me see your drones,
Well, and it would take away too all of these false drone sightings all over the world.
That's what I was going to say. Gatwick being the biggest one I think that I've called out so far.
Amen.
Now we just go, hey, okay, shut the airport down, scan. No drones, reopen. Let's get these people on planes.
Yeah.
What happened to Hugh? Where did Asgard go? Just noticed he was missing.
Oh, I think we overtalked him and he just bailed, maybe? Sorry.
Well, you're right. You can get too many in here, but it's awkward if somebody says, I'd like to join, and you say no, you get their feelings hurt.
The maximum for this used to be 10, so I don't know if it's been upped up, but it used to be 10 people.
So I think they actually bumped it to 14. Okay. And that happened like the middle of last year. But I haven't, like I said, I don't ever have that many people on my panel because nobody can talk.
Yeah, if you get to that number, you gotta raise your hand.
Right.
It's not bad. I've had more than 10 in the past. Actually 10 in the past in my Hangouts. And everybody just takes their turn when they want to say something. And you do have a moderator. Like when I host, I usually wave my hand and say, okay, hey, you've said enough, or oh, be careful what you're saying. You just need a moderator in there.
So you're kind enough to wave your hand. I've seen some of them where they go.
But people are grown up, so as soon as somebody usually stops speaking, that's when somebody speaks up, and
we try to
on what you're saying, because if you have two people talking at the same time, like he is right now, it kind of becomes a discussion of who can speak the loudest.
Hey, Tank, the problem with me is that I'm running on 4G LTE, whereas most of you guys are on Wi-Fi, so I'm always getting latency regardless.
Cool.
So there's factors. You just got to factor in all the factors, you know.
Well, it's kind of cool the way old guy in the drone does it tonight for his, well, today, this afternoon with his Hangout, because he's actually going live, but bringing in the Hangout in his OBS. So it does create a little bit more of a delay, but it's kind of cool how he's doing it right now compared to how I do it. So
it's a technical challenge, and I get to sit here at the end of this little conference table, but and watch all you guys. It's great.
Fun.
Yeah.
We've touched on some good topics already, man. That's why I said let's keep it going. You gotta have this is a good show.
Well, here's my question to everybody in the group. What do you guys think about Oklahoma is talking about banning drones over any kind of a residential or farm area?
Can they do that?
No.
What?
No. They introduced a bill into their state legislature to ban all drone flights.
I would have to hear really good reasoning behind why they want that done. Because as far as I'm concerned, as long as you're 250 feet high, you're good.
Yeah,
you're not spying on anybody.
That's the kind of height of stupidity in my mind.
What's that?
That those people that make those laws have no ideas what drones are all about, never flown one, never seen one, never looked at the screen, nothing, you know.
The only thing I would even consider being a factor in that is safety for crop dusters or helicopters that might be doing something orchard related. That's about it. Well, other than that, you know, bodies being buried in their fields. What's going on here?
Yeah.
My workplace is right beside an airport, well, across the river, which is far enough. And when I flew my DJI Sparks in here, I tried to go up, and then it stopped at about 20 feet and didn't want to go any higher. And I go, what the heck? How come it's not going any higher? And I was in the warehouse, and the warehouse is like 50 high. And then I got the warning saying, oh, you're in a restricted area, so be careful. And then I looked at the map, and our warehouse is just on the edge of that restricted area. I go, shit.
Did it give you the little box to tap? A lot of people don't see, you know, that warning box.
Yeah.
Some of it comes up and tells you can't take off.
Not that I can't take off. That's only, I think, if you're in the red zone. Because when I looked at that, there was two parts: a red, which circle, which very close to the airport, and then I'm in the yellow circle, which I can't fly but low.
So for any reason, if you ever want to bypass that without doing anything crazy, you can purchase the Litchi app, and it'll allow you to fly without the restrictions.
Oh yeah.
So for any reason at all, go ahead.
Also on the DJI app, I had to fly commercially, and it was just to take video of a shopping center, and it wouldn't let me take off. But it had this box came up and says you are in a unauthorized area to fly or whatever. But right down here and the side of that black box in the middle of my screen was a little thing you could tap, and you could touch that, and it would come up and say, okay, you are authorizing yourself, and we are not responsible, and blah, blah, blah. Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, so, I just did that at my son's. My son's house is on the river here in Florida on the intercoastal, and he's like 4.99 miles from Patrick Air Force Base. In other words, if you look at the map, the big blue circle around Patrick crosses at the house just next door to him. So we went over to his house to fly, you know, and shoot the dock, take pictures of the dock and everything. And I got that message, and then it said that I could unlock it. So because it wasn't a strict no-fly zone, it was a cautionary, but still it said NFZ on the radio. So I went through the drill, and you put your phone number in, and then they text you code, and you enter the code, and you swear on a stack of Bibles that whatever happens, it's your fault, and bingo, we could fly. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and before their update, everybody was crying about the no-fly zones and all these updates, and it was and they were right. They used to shut me down all the time because in Philly, I'm near an airport. And I'm also near the stadium, so it was just crazy. And I'm also right outside the airport and right outside the stadiums. But after I updated, I started to get that message with what Mitch is talking about, where you put in the phone number, they send you a token, they call it. You put in the token number, and then it clears you. But at that point, they know who you are, they know how to get in touch with you, and you take full responsibility of the flight.
Yeah.
But fine, I'm okay with it.
All right, so like I said, with Litchi, you can avoid all of that because it's not the drone that's stopping you; it's the app that's stopping you.
Yeah.
So if you're running on third-party app, then they're not asking you for anything extra than simple permissions to do things. So when you take out, and actually, I find that Litchi is more advanced than the DJI 4 Go app. So if any of you have not considered purchasing Litchi, it's my preferred method of running my DJI products.
In the DJI app, Go4 app, I noticed that in the setting there is a disable no-fly zone. There is a command that you can do. I don't know how well it works. I haven't tried it yet.
I have not seen that, Tank. Are you talking about the you can disable the warnings where it tells you?
Yes.
I've never seen where you can actually disable.
Let me turn it on and find out. Because
So what happens is that it won't give you any warnings. It'll just stop you through geofencing.
Correct, exactly. Yeah, because I got so tired of seeing the Class Bs and the Class Cs, and it's like, Jesus, God, I'm nowhere next to that. So I can go in there, and then you just tell it not to warn you about that. But Dan is correct. It's like flying into an invisible wall, which is
right.
I'm okay with too, because if I'm within that 5 miles, I may not know it. Yeah, I'm okay with somebody stopping me. I don't need that problem.
Yeah. So what happens is you'll hit basically a brick wall, and it'll say max altitude limit reached.
Correct.
And that's all it'll let you do from that point on.
Okay. I've only drained the battery 3 times on it, so that's like a 15-minute flight. So I'm still new at this.
Oh boy, I think I've probably put 32 flights on my. Well, I've only had it since Christmas. I bought it right before Christmas. So
yeah,
I think I got about 32 flights on it.
You guys will hate me. I've been bragging about my flight hours because that's about the only thing in my life that I can brag about. But I have 172 hours in the air, and I'm coming up a little over 900 flights with my DJI products.
Wow. Very nice.
Yeah, I'm very proud of it.
I am. Let's see. Well, I think my solo I've had for 3 years, and I have probably got close to 500 flights on that thing now, at least. Awesome. And I've had a bunch of Phantom 3s between my Bebops, Phantom 3s, Hubsan products. I've probably logged somewhere in the realm of maybe 1,000 almost. Yep. At this point. Most of my flights are about 25 minutes or more, and if I'm flying off 2 batteries, that's an hour every time I fly. So.
Yeah, you'd be surprised what you learn sometimes just by accident.
Yeah, true. Well, guys, thanks for letting me in. I'm going to go home. If you guys are still on when I get home, I might jump back in. But
okay.
Nice. Good to have you, Mr. Tank.
Mr. Tank, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you coming in.
Nice meeting you. Bye-bye.
So I think to go back and revisit something that we were talking about earlier, we were talking about what you fly, Mike.
Yes, sir.
And, we had gotten into DJI products, but I really wanted to make a point here about, you were talking about how good DJI really is. And I think my issue I have with DJI is that they bully all of the other companies out of production, basically. And I absolutely hate that, because then there's not an open market. You know what I'm saying? And it really irritates me that it's like one way or no way. And they're doing it to Parrot right now. And I just want to point out that Parrot was actually the leader in the tech industry for drones. And I still think that they are. Let's cut out the redundancy of all the sensors that DJI offers, and let's look at what is actually offered from a Parrot product. you get probably some of the most incredible stabilization I have ever seen input on a drone, ever, through Linux base. Okay? The only thing that even comes close to the stabilization that it offers without having an external camera and a gimbal is probably the Skydio R1 drone.
Correct.
I'm sure most of you guys know what that is.
Correct.
Okay. Those are the two real most stable stabilization platforms that are out there that have fixed cameras and shoot in fisheye lens. And then they zoom in on the screen. But I want to say that the optical flow sensor and sonar sensor was actually Parrot. Parrot put all of that into play. So I think Parrot, to me, is still the leader in the tech industry for drones, but they're not trying to do what DJI is. They're trying to make affordable platforms for people to buy. You know what I'm saying? That's what they've always focused on. But they actually brought the majority of the tech that you see on drones now into play in 2013 and 2014. So you can thank Parrot for the majority of the sensors that you have. Now, DJI has obviously gone above and beyond with obstacle avoidance, and you get that on the Anafi. And, you know, we always knew that another company was going to branch out and start doing, you know, bigger and better things, but Parrot never wanted to be that company. Parrot always wanted to be the mid-range company where they would offer you mid-range devices that can do a lot of the stuff the big birds can for a fraction of the price. So I've always respected Parrot products versus DJI. That's just my opinion, but DJI, I think, is probably my second go-to. I would go to Parrot before I'd go DJI.
And not to mention that the prices are just, I mean, they are outrageous and
radically different.
Yeah.
Radically different.
Yeah.
What about Autel?
I'm not a big fan of Autel, man. I think I lost interest in Autel after the what was the orange one that they had? The Autel, what was it?
The X something, the
X-Star Premium, yeah, the Autel X-Star Premium.
Yeah,
that's right. I flew with a guy that brought that out. I think his name was Electro something. We flew about a year and a half ago, I think. And his, for the life of him, would not take off. It had all sorts of compass problems. And I just turned my solo on, and it was like, ready to go. And I took off. You know, and I was like, that just told me everything I need to know about Autel. I'm good, man. This was supposed to be a drone that was in the realm of Phantom products, and I just felt like they... So then the Evo dropped, and we all know what happened with the Evo. The Evo was, like, horrible out of the box. They hadn't even perfected the firmware yet. It was still kind of beta. Everybody was like, well, let's give them a chance, and then after a couple months, they finally figured out all the little glitches, and then they solved it. So the Evo is probably the best drone they've come out with to date. Now, does that make me feel comfortable? Not really. I feel like that's kind of an E-Hang way to go. If you guys know the company E-Hang was kind of the same way. Hubson's the same way. Release their beta platform birds and let you guys be the guinea pigs and not tell you that it's in beta still. I'm not a big fan of that either.
Well, don't you think that over the last couple, 3 or 4 years, the market has changed? There's several different markets now within droning. There's the market that's focused on the guys that want to fly good, inexpensive, recreational drones. Right. There's the market for commercial videographers. Then there's the commercial market for inspections with using infrared cameras, search and rescue, surveillance, and all that kind of thing. So, it's just such evolved to a point where it's whatever the pilot, you have to now decide how you're going to fly as to what you're going to buy.
And I completely agree with that. And that's why I respect Parrot. Parrot does offer all those things as well as DJI. They're the only two companies that I think offer both realms.
So
Parrot does.
Dan, have you flown the Evo at all?
Actually, no. I turned down the opportunity when we had Drone Week. I didn't feel comfortable. This guy was flying over water. I've never touched his drone before. Okay. I fly my stuff over water. I have no problem. If I lose it, it's my fault. Correct. You know what I'm saying? But to grab somebody else's... Now, if we had been in a field or somewhere where it was a little less like painstaking to be like, oh my God, I hope this thing doesn't do something crazy while I'm out here. Right. You know, I probably would have grabbed the controls and gone for it. And he did show me that I had a bunch of cool stuff and it was doing neat things. And And I was like, oh, that's all great and stuff, but I don't know, man. It just seems to me, it seemed to have a very short flight time. I wasn't really impressed by the flight time. I don't know. I think he came in at like 18 and a half minutes, and I think most of those folding quads are actually getting more like 25 and 30 minutes now from DJI. So I guess I just wasn't impressed by his bird very much. It did take excellent footage, though.
Yes, yeah. I mean,
pretty amazing camera on it.
Correct. And also, I'm hearing some mixed things too. Exactly what you just said with the fly time. And from what I understand, it's people are flying a lot in ludicrous mode, and it's killing their battery. But I noticed one kid that's backed off of that and just flew in picture mode at 22 miles an hour. And he was getting like 26, 27 minutes. So he said, and you know, at least one of the screen capture videos showed that. But
right.
I've been looking at that drone just because of the price. It's a good price point. Best Buy has them now where you could get 3 batteries, the bag, the drone, all for, you know, $1,000, which is, to me, it sounds like a really good deal. And from what I understand, it's a really nice built drone. But the problem I have is the dependability and the signal. How strong is that all going to be? If you put something like that over a city in the middle of Texas, it'll be fine, you know, but what about in a city? So that's what's stopping me, you know.
Now, what that doesn't run. What does that run on? That's not Wi-Fi. It's not Lightbridge. What does it run on?
It's its own proprietary signal. It's
signal?
Like,
really?
It's like a 500 or 600 gigahertz thing or 800 gigahertz. I don't know what it's running, but it's its own, you know, special thing, sort of like an OcuSync type thing, but it's.
I wonder if that actually helps cut out a lot of the interference that you might be getting from other electronics.
It might. Yeah, I don't know nothing about that. You know, that stuff is so interesting to me, and you know so much more about that than I do. I know how to fly, and that's about it. And I'm learning. You know, I'm learning. I'm a new guy. I'm learning.
Every bird I own is Wi-Fi, and I love Wi-Fi for one reason. Because it's totally modifiable through firmware. I can amplify the signal, I can cut the signal back, I can change my antennas on the go, I can, like, there's so much stuff you can do with Wi-Fi as opposed to Lightbridge and OcuSync that I just never wanted to make the changeover. You know, I didn't want the DJI product. It's all great and stuff, they can do these cool things, but I feel so limited by the capability. So let's say I forgot my transmitter, and for whatever reason, I needed to extend my signal. Well, you can't do that on a DJI product. Me, I could just go to you know, wherever, you know, Circuit City and pick up a $12 Wi-Fi repeater that has 1,200 millibits, plug it in, amplify the signal, and fly with my phone, and still go just as far as my controller, just with a $12 Wi-Fi repeater. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, there's so many more possibilities that are opened up to you as Wi-Fi. This is why I like the open source stuff. It comes into its own, you know, its own little world of amazingness once you actually start tampering with open source and third party stuff.
Right.
So,
unfortunately, yeah, I'm kind of like Paul, and especially, you know, after the race drones, and I just want to fly. I want to look at the footage. I don't want to do any of that, but I'm interested in it, so I'm open to it. But you know, it's funny you bring up Wi-Fi because I also own the Mavic Air, and let me tell you something. I love the camera, I love the drone. It's cute, the whole bit. I know it's loud, it's screaming, wake up the neighbors around here, but let me tell you something. I can't go 1,200 feet with it, you know, unless I go straight up to 400 feet. First thing I do, got to go straight up to 400, and then maybe I can get about 1,400 feet before it just craps out because of all the Wi-Fi. So Wi-Fi in the city just is not good.
I'm planning something that I think is going to blow everyone's mind, and I've ordered 6 more batteries for my Bebop 2. Can you take a guess what I'm going to do? What is the only drone on the market capable of a soft mod that would give you unlimited range?
You're preaching to the wrong choir, because I don't think anybody here right now does modifications.
All right.
I'll tell you that 4G mod, which he flew 30 miles. I mean, it was
yes. So check this out. I've talked to Dustin. I've figured out the equipment I need. I'm going to do the soft mod. He did it to the Disco. I'm going to do the soft mod to the Bebop 2, which would essentially give me unlimited range on my Bebop 2. Yeah. Now, I'm going to send it out and fly it to my friend's house that is downtown Tampa. Okay. Then I'm going to have him put another battery, and I'm going to fly from his house over to my friend's cross St. Pete and land there, pop in a new battery. He's going to cross over to the section where I'm going to have another buddy sitting waiting in a parking lot. Okay, now this is going to be a designated pre-flight. Like, I know the path, I know how long I have between each battery, and how long I can go for each flight, right? Calculated risk. Yes, wind factor, a lot of it. However, I think this is more than capable of probably doing a pretty darn crazy flight with the Bebop too. That I think would just blow everyone's freaking mind. I do want to clear this flight with the FAA. I've reached out to an FAA coordinator. I'm going to see if we can make this a possibility. If they allow me to do it legally, I will totally go for this. And I want to show people how capable Parrot products really are, and give them an idea what you can do with unlimited range capabilities.
Did you contact Parrot to see if they'd sponsor such a thing?
I did not. That's actually a really good idea.
Maybe they'd like to come and film it. You know.
However, I think Parrot is totally against the soft mod. It's nothing that they developed. It's not in their best interest. I highly doubt they'll want to take it on.
But it might be in their best interest for, like, let's say, commercial drones or for search and rescue drones, what could give them some extra, make sure that they're not having connection problems.
Right.
Hey, Dan.
Good point. Yeah.
Also, if I understand correctly, with the 4G signal, don't you have to be lower to get a better signal?
Yes. Yeah, you don't want to be up too high because signal towers, man.
Correct.
The efficiency of the towers, you want to be about what the top limit of a tower is, your average tower, which is going to be about, I want to say 40 or 50 meters high, nothing higher than that.
Right.
Now, does 4G, does that have less interruption by radio interference in general areas, like?
Well, what's amusing about it is that the whole flight is going to be done through a phone call. Okay. I'll have full capability of it, and I'll also have FPV the entire time through 4G signal link.
Mm-hmm.
So it's in essence, for us non-thinkers like you, you're talking about flying using tower to tower to tower.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yep.
So it'll be a waypoint flight, Dan? You're doing like a waypoint flight? You're not going to be controlling the drone?
Oh, no, I'll be controlling it. Absolutely. I'm going to have control of the drone the entire time. There's going to be, Dustin says that the further you go out, the more latency you can start to expect over time because the call range, you start getting that. You'll end up, he said after about 7 or 8 miles away, you're going to start getting about a half-second latency lag on top of a 1 second already that's there between LTE.
So each cell then is going to act like a remote for you.
Yeah.
And under your control.
Yep, and transmit the signal back to me through tower. So it's pinging the towers is basically what's happening.
Right.
That's amazing. That's I don't know how I feel about that because
it's scary, huh?
Yeah, that is scary to think that somebody can send a drone out of the state. I don't know how I feel. I mean, the batteries, it's all about a battery at that point. It's
right, and that's so actually, Dustin says if you fly at full tilt, man, you can actually cover quite a bit of range at full tilt. He expects you can get about 6 miles to 7 miles per battery, and that's with a safe landing and takeoff. Wow. So you're going to have to calculate your landing points pretty much to the key, and you're going to have to take in wind variance and all that other fun stuff, and leave yourself about a 10% battery ratio to work with in case you have problems or disconnections or any of that kind of jazz.
And in fact, you using the cell system as your control point, you never lose connection, basically. So when they shut it down to swap out batteries, it'll just come right up back to that same cell connection.
Yes.
Wow.
Yep.
That's amazing.
So I'll actually be on the roof of my house doing the flight just to get above everything. And keep a good solid signal because Florida's very flat. If you guys don't know Florida's very flat. from the roof of my house, I can actually cast quite a signal. So it'll be the most ideal spot, unless I can call my buddy who works at Singleton Seafood and see if he'll let me on top of their building. If he does that, then I can control it from halfway around the world.
It's not something I would do, but my hat's off to anybody, because I put them in a special category.
I'm checking them out now. Give me 1 sec, guys. I gotta shut the pool down here. I'll be right back.
Okay. I look at what he's doing as innovation, and my hat's off to those kind of people. That's not what I do, and it's probably not what you do as far as you just like to fly. But I enjoy. It's like none of us would be up here if the innovation wasn't by the Wright brothers. You know. So.
All right, I'm back. Sorry.
I was just saying my hat's off to you as an innovator. It isn't anything. It isn't anything that I have that much brain power to figure out. And my hat's off to you. But it's mind blowing what you're doing. That basically, if you actually think about what you're going to planning to do, that means that at some future date, maybe your son or grandson or whatever is going to figure out how to control rockets in space by using a network of cell towers on the Earth.
Correct.
Well, okay, so consider this. I'm not really doing anything different than Amazon's going to be doing. This is going to be the same system that they're going to be using with Amazon, basically. They're going to be doing 4G tower pinging to deliver their packages.
Yep.
So,
and that 4G will give you real-time video too, right?
Yes, you will get real-time. I think it only shows in 360p though, so it's not going to be the world's best.
Okay.
I'm sure they'll be using a lot better equipment than I have. But I bought the basic stuff that Dustin said go with, and you'll get the least amount of latency lag issues.
Oh, so the higher your resolution, the lower the bigger the
Oh, okay. Yeah. To build that quality video, it's no different than using your 4G to try to stream YouTube. What happens when you try to bump up the YouTube signal to 720 or 1080?
Very, very interesting. Yep, you're right. Wow.
Hey, Mitch, that sounds like it's something up your alley.
Yeah. Flying with cell phone? No.
No.
I understand the technology behind it. I remember watching Dustin's video with that parrot thing, and it was fascinating, and it's, you know, when you think about what the connectivity we have with these cell phones and the speed of the broadband networks that we have, this is perfectly doable and very, very easily doable.
Well, believe it or not, I mean, besides the batteries, the whole incurred cost of the soft mod is about $40 to do it.
Wow. Well, gentlemen, I'm going to have to back out for now, and it was really great, informative. Mitch, good luck with the channel. You're doing a great job, my friend. Thank you, Paul. And you gentlemen all have a great evening, and we'll catch up with you later.
All right, buddy. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Take care, Paul.
Nice to meet you. Yeah, Dan, you know, the thing with that is, you know, I find it very interesting. But, you know, with the DJI, with the AkiSync 2.0, you know, I can only go, like, my battery goes out first before signal. So unless I'm willing to do a battery mod on it, I don't really need something like that. You know what I mean? Yep. Like, so, and you know, I've said it when it first came out, the 2.0, that auto switching, it was a game changer, especially in the city. What a vast difference from even just the regular AkiSync.
Well, that's the same principle that applies here, though.
Yes.
Okay, is that the battery is going to be the halter for the range cap, except I want to reach out to the guys that came up with graphene. You know what that is?
It's a type of battery, yeah.
It's not just a type of battery. It's a very specific type of power sourcing, which we would call a supercell or a supercapacitor.
Okay.
And I want to see if I can send them a Parrot battery that can instantly take a charge with a supercapacitor built out of graphene. Okay, which I think is quite possible. So instead, let's say your range cap was only to the next landing point where it would land in a bay and then instantly charge the battery itself, and then you could take off and go from there. What's really your range cap now? See what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Possibilities are endless, man.
Yeah.
You just got to get in touch with the right people and talk to the right person.
Be nice if you can somehow charge the battery as it's flying from some solar type thing too. That would
I thought about that too, man. I thought about you remember those old little generators they put on wheels? I think they were called let's see. Man, friction generators. Remember those?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't know the name of them, but I
think they were called friction generators. They went on the bike, and the bike wheel would spin fast enough to cause 12 volts of electricity, which was interesting. But what if you could? What if you were to simplify that and build a couple small ones that would just kind of work off the motor's power? So as they spun, they would actually create current, not just use it, but create it. Doesn't take much to spin those friction generators, you know. How long could you really make it fly for then?
Very interesting.
See, man, I got constant. I enjoy this. You guys say that you don't like the, and I get that. I get that. But my brain, I got ADHD and OCD and all these other fun things. My brain's constantly coming up with stupid ideas to try.
Yeah. No, I loved it. I mean, when I got into the racing stuff, and it wasn't long. My God, right as soon as I learned acro, I think maybe 30 days later, I'm like, oh my God, I got to build my own drone. And so I went out and I picked up the best motors, and that was so much fun. I mean, it must have took me a month and a half picking my parts, and then, like I said, when it actually hovered, you should have seen me doing the fire dance. The neighbors were just, what is he doing? I was singing and dancing in the middle of the street. You would have thought I had a freaking baby. And so it was exciting. I really did. It was exciting. And then it just, like I said, I just smashed him. And then after a while, I just, it was so hardy. You put so much love into something. And then one little crash, it's like, oh my God, I got to go fix it. No, I love that. I had it perfect. And then you do that 2 or 3 more times, and then it was like, oh, I don't feel like fixing it. So you pick up a new one. And then, like I said, I send the DJI product up, and it was just so nice to have it nice and pretty and clean each and every flight, And so that's where I've been for the last couple months. But like I said, once the weather breaks and it ain't 20 right now it's 28 and snowing. So it's just miserable out, and who wants to go stand out in that? And so we don't have Florida weather here, but once the weather breaks, I'll probably take them out again and get into that routine. But I do enjoy it, Dan. I definitely understand what you're talking about with the mind going, and it is exciting.
Man, what if you use the thrust of the propellers that are already there to spin one propeller underneath? See what I'm saying? On the interference. So if it's causing 4 to 6 volts constantly while it's being powered by its own prop system, I mean, what's really stopping it? You won't be able to fully charge the battery while flying, but if you can prolong the flight for an incredible amount of time.
Yeah, I see where you're going with that. It wouldn't affect flight. You're just using the bottom ones for energy. Gotcha.
Exactly. So you're already using downward force to just put an propeller on a to hang down on the bottom. So as soon as you take off, the interference generator will just hang right underneath the unit, and then just.
Hey Dan, not to change the subject, I want to ask you. I see. Obviously you're a review channel. You do a lot of reviews on stuff. How do you get companies to send you stuff? Do you reach out to them, or do they come to you?
Well, I'm a very honest channel. I throw a lot of partnerships out the window.
Correct.
So, during Christmas, and this is why I tell everybody to put your email address in the description of your video, because during Christmas, all they do is type in electronic reviewers or technology-based reviewers. And if you just happen to be that special guy that gets picked up first, they send you a link. So it normally happens about 2 months before Christmas kicks in.
So that.
And and then so if you do good and you make a bunch of sales for them through Banggood or GearBest or any of those platforms, you know, then they'll consider keeping you on as a reviewer. Well, unfortunately, man, I'm so honest that, you know, it only lasts a very short period of time for me whenever I get those sponsorships. Yeah. But I've always told everybody I'm going to be honest completely. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes I do reach out to the company. Like, for instance, I'm going to be reviewing a WL Toys RC boat here in the future. They sent me one that I requested 3 months ago. I said, hey, I would, you know, my girlfriend needs a boat, and we were in, you know, the market for buying one. How would you feel about sending us your brushless boat for review? We're going to be using it all the time, constantly. I'll always put your purchase link in the video and give you guys a shout out every time we use it, you know. And so they finally, 3 months later, they got back to me. I don't know who was taking their time getting back to me, but they got back and they were like, sure. Yeah, just make sure you do a review video. So WL Toys directly sent me a boat, so that should be here pretty soon.
Was it a costly one, Dan, or?
Like $120. It's brushless. I mean, it's going to be fast. It runs on 3S. It's brushless, so top speed's probably like 30 miles an hour, 32, something like that.
The reason I ask is because there's one particular kid, but I'm seeing it all over, and I won't mention names, but he only has, you know, maybe 200 subscribers, and he's already saying, well, you know, I've been given this thing by Four Hawks company, and you know, they're so kind of them to ask me to review this product. And I'm thinking, you son of a bitch, I just paid $150 for my Four Hawks antenna. Yep. And I got 600 freaking subscribers. How did he get his for free?
That's because he's playing ball.
Okay.
As long as he plays ball, they're never going to hold it against you. So when I say play ball, I mean do exactly to the T what they ask him to do. Share your social media. Share this across all your platforms. Show us that you can get sales. So maybe he may not be big on YouTube, but he may be big on Facebook or Instagram or any one of those other platforms. You know what I'm saying? So if he only makes a 30-second to a 1 minute video on Facebook, and he pays $5 to push that ad, and a bunch of people see it, because you see those ads all the time. Those are just YouTubers making those ads.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And then, you know, it gets watched by 3.2 million people in like a week. And out of those 3.2 million, you know, 20,000 people purchased it. Well, that dude made an absolute killing with his affiliate link, you know? So, I mean, there's things to be considered here. I don't get into the whole Facebook side of things because I don't like to push trash on people. Right. Okay, that's been my whole thing since the beginning. If I can keep you from buying trash, I do my best to do that. I'm not here for the companies. Okay, I'm here for the people. If you make a product, I expect it to be good. I'm not just going to say it's good because you gave me a free toy. That's not how this works. I'm not a sellout. I'm not going to be, you know, I hate to throw names, but Quadcopter 101, the RC Sailors, I'm not going to be any of those people. I'm sorry. I just can't do it. Nate didn't become honest, and neither did Abby until after they hit like 60 to 70,000 subscribers. And we started laying into them like, dude, you have got to start being honest. And this is trash. Like, we're so sick and tired of you telling people that this is garbage is real good stuff. And then all of a sudden we saw a major change in Nate and Abby, and all of a sudden they were like, oh yeah, we've always said things suck. And then now, because they're such a big channel,
right,
they can do that. And no matter what, these companies will still have to send it to them because people watch them.
Correct.
So there's a point where you earn the ability to say what you want, you know, at the cost of what?
Selling crap to a million people. Yeah.
Right. Until you become that guy. What if you could just be that guy from the beginning? Well, you grow because you're honest.
Yeah, that would mean you have integrity, and that's hard to spell these days.
And that's the guy that doesn't grow very fast and doesn't keep the sponsorships and blah, blah, blah. But at some point, the people realize he's being honest, and you grow to a point where they have no choice but to send you those products, whether they suck or not, and they have to deal with your review. You see what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
Hey, man, I have obsolete drones that litter my shelves that aren't relevant to the market anymore. Yet I'm at almost 10,000 subscribers. I must be doing something right.
How long you been doing it?
This is my 3rd year.
Okay. This is my 10th week.
Nice.
Yeah.
I have close to 1,000 videos posted now. So
do you really? Oh,
I have over almost 2.5 million views on my channel now. So.
Well, good for you. You know,
thank you.
I'm wondering if we didn't meet in September, at the Sulphur Springs Tower.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of the guys I met over there told me he had a large YouTube channel.
You ran into a guy I call the Mighty Thor, and I'm not a fan of that guy. We don't get along.
They put one up in a tree that day.
Yep, that would be the Mighty Thor.
Okay. Well, he didn't hesitate to tell me what a big shot he was.
Yeah, well, he does that with everybody.
Yeah.
He's not my friend. He's not my buddy. I reached out to that guy numerous times in the past 2 years, and he just came up with every excuse possible to not hang out with me. And then one day, we ran into each other out at the tower. And he came over. He didn't even recognize me, didn't know who I was, and we weren't even that far apart in subscribers, but he just didn't register who I was. And anyways, I just got done landing my Hubsan Advanced 4 X4 Pro. I landed it. He comes right over, the most assertive person I've ever met, grabs it. I just landed. I didn't even turn off the camera yet. Picks it up and goes, "Oh, wow, you got a 3-axis gimbal on there, huh?" "Yeah, I had one of these," and I started installing my own firmware. He's twisting in his hand and racking it upside down. The gimbal's like knocking against things. I was like, "Yo, bro, what are you doing, man? Put my drone down." I say you could touch that? Man, you're aggressive. You are super aggressive as a character, man. I've never met anybody like you before.
Well, that was an interesting place to fly. You know who Billy Kyle is?
Yeah.
And
everybody.
Billy Kyle and Ken Dono, who's
the original Dobo.
They decided to have this fly-in down there in Tampa, and
here we go.
And then Bill, the drone reviewer.
I think so.
We're not friends.
Bill, the drone reviewer, you know, he decided he was going to chime in. So I live over in Melbourne, and my daughter's in Tampa. So I said, well, you know, I'll drive over there and meet up with these guys and fly my drone and go visit my daughter. So I did. And I there's a little video. One of the first videos that I ever posted on YouTube was about the little Sulphur Springs fly-in. And who else was there? Brian, Smoky Mountain Aerial Imaging.
Yep.
He hadn't even hardly started on YouTube yet back then. He was just doing some commercial drone work. And then he hooked up with Mel 400 AGL, and they've got a thing going on now. So, and that was September and not long ago.
So me and Billy Kyle, actually, we all used to do live stream together on the Canadian Drone Therapy, or not Canadian Drone Therapy. It was just called drone. No, it was just called Drone Therapy. It was with Bill. I reached out to Ken Heron. Me and Ken became buddies, and which I'm also not friends with Ken anymore.
No.
Yeah, man. You know what? I don't believe in self-indulgent people. I really don't. I hate when people lose integrity for the wrong reasons, man. I cannot stand self-absorbed people. I really can't. So, you know, it's something that just eats me alive when I have to stand around somebody that's super self-absorbed. You know, I offered Ken Dono the same thing. Ken was on my Facebook forever. He kept inviting me out, and Billy Kyle was coming and visiting all the time, and Ken would reach out to me. He's like, "Hey," he'd pick days that he knew I was working, and then he'd be like, "Hey, you want to come out and hang with us?" "Oh, yeah, that's right. Sorry, I forgot it was your day out, or you got to work that day. My bad, man. Well, next time I'm in town." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, next time you're in town, great."
He goes up to Philly a lot, flies with, he likes to fly up in Philly. Mike, they don't hook up with you when they're up there, do they?
Dude, let me tell you.
No.
You know how many times I've actually went on to one of their videos and said, "Hey, man, I'm from Philly," and I can't even get a response in the comments from them. I don't know.
I know.
Respond. You got to have 1,000 subs to get an answer. I don't know, but I stopped, and I ain't kissing nobody's ass to get a hello from you. And I am who I am. That's it. So
listen, man.
Go on with the story, Dan. I'm interested in this.
There's one thing you'll learn about me is that I am a super friendly individual. I will offer you my heart, and just don't take advantage of it. Okay? I offer you my world. I even invited Ken Dono. I said, "Dude, feel free to if you ever want to review any of my products, bro, just come through. My underwater 4K drone, my whatever. If you want to play with any of my products, feel free. Just you can do a review, whatever." And Ken was like, yeah, we'll make that happen, and then never got back in touch with me. And then months went by, and I saw a post. He had something on Facebook about getting a tiny little nickel-sized dent in his new car. And me being a funny guy, I posted a Chuck Norris sticker next to it, and I said, here, just put this next to it. People will laugh. You know, it's funny. It was like Chuck Norris flicked a fingernail at my car, you know, and I put a dent in it. And that was the joke, right? The joke, ha, 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 ha. You know, and Ken was like, that's not funny, bro. And I was like, oh. And then somebody else, like a little ways down, shared another sticker. And Ken was like, laughy face, laughy face, laughy face. And I was like, huh, why is his comment funny, but mine's not? He's like, well, I mean, bro, you know. And it was like, well, I mean, bro, no, what? I don't know, man. Explain it to me. You know, it's like he had something against me. I can't figure it out for the life of me. And then later on, that spawned into a whole nother thing that he was doing, where I commented on it. I don't remember what his second post was about. And, oh, no, it was about him reaching the mark that he reached and how fast he did it. And I said, congratulations, man. I'm glad that you're where you're at. You know, you got 8,200 subscribers. You grew really quickly. You have great equipment. You got a good voice. You do this thing very well, you know. And then he showed me his numbers, and, you know, I was like, wow, that's awesome. And then I went and took a screenshot, just posted it. I was like, there you go, you know. Dude, it took me 3 years to earn this. You know what I'm saying? Right. I think he thought I was showing off when I showed him that I had like 2 million some odd views. Right. And, you know, he was like, well, let's do statistics then. And then he went to Social Blade, looked me up, posted all this stuff. He's like, ha, somebody's growing faster. And I was like, dude, what are you like? You're like a pompous douchebag, bro. I can't stand self-absorbed people. Billy's the same way. I just stopped talking to Billy altogether. Like, all these self-absorbed people, bro. I'm here to help you guys grow. All the smaller channels, I've never given up on what I've always been here for, and that's to help everyone else make it. I'm not just trying to make it myself. I want all of you guys to be successful, too.
You know, it's funny because the first night I met you, I was like 160 subs, and I'm telling you, it felt like I was there forever. And you were doing some show where you were just, hey man, get on this guy. We're trying to get this guy to this and get that guy to this. So I'm I'm getting in on here. So I chat in. I started chatting. You're like, hey, we got a PhillyDroneLife in the house, and I'm like, man, I just want to get to 200. And Dan, I don't know if you remember this, but you spent a good 5 minutes on, which is a long time on YouTube, with just, come on, man, get this guy over 200. Come on, Philly, 200. Come on. And I left your stream, and I had like 214 subs that night. Nice, and I never forgot it. Never forgot it. Oh, and man. It was just the biggest help anybody's ever given me, and it was the most time anybody's ever spent, you know. And it made me feel so special. And, you know, when you're new to this, you feel like a star, you know. It's, oh, my God, somebody's saying they're on TV, and my name came up on TV, you know. And it just made me feel so special. And so at that point, I tuned into your channel and started seeing what you do. And, you know, and we have a lot of other things in common, too, like weight and a lot of things. But yeah, man, keep doing it.
Awesome, bro. I mean, that's what it's all. I'm actually gonna be doing another one of those here pretty soon, man. It's my way of giving back to the community. The community gives so much to me. Why can't I give it back? You know, I'm not. Why do I have to give free stuff away? Why can't I just help you grow so that you can get to the point where I'm at, where I don't have to, you know what I'm saying, give out stuff? Like, well, you know, giveaways are fun and stuff, but I would rather get you growth than give you an item that, you know what I'm saying, that's short term. That's not getting you anywhere. You know what I mean?
That was the whole thing with the, you know, I know they mentioned a couple names. You mentioned Ken and all, and Ken Hurren. And I loved the guy until that one day where he was giving a Mavic, and man, he was asking people that you had to sub me and get 15 other subs to sub me, and then the mothers to sub me, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, are you kidding me? Yeah. And I actually posted something, one of the comments. I'm like, hey, dude, I love you, but do you really need to do that? I mean, come on. And it was the second time he asked, because he had did something like a week or two prior, and he asked for that. And I just didn't get it. And so I did have my girlfriend sub him. I was running in my mother's room. I had her subbing him. I called the kids, just to get in on something. And I liked the guy. And then the following week he did it again, and that's when it got personal to me. And I'm like, because I couldn't get in. That was all the people I knew. And at that point, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And I started reading the chats, and other people were going through the same thing.
Yep.
It bothered me.
You want to know when it got personal for me with Ken?
Talk to me.
When he stole my idea.
Oh.
When he stole my idea, I knew we weren't friends. We actually sat down as a group of guys at one point, and we all chatted. And we had this theory, because I like to break down stuff scientifically. We had this theory about taking an airtight train compartment and hovering either a drone or a helicopter with stabilization, okay, but no GPS, no other functionality other than gyro, okay? And the idea of this was to take off with the drone or the helicopter in an airtight train and have the train leave the depot.
I know
while it's airborne. And the question was, because it's an airtight compartment,
right?
Is the drone going to move with the train as it leaves the station, or is it going to go towards the back of the train?
So that was your idea when he did it inside the truck.
In the U-Haul truck. He stole my idea and didn't even know how to implement it correctly. And did some, I think he just got the kind of the simplest version of what it was, but you're doing it with a drone that has all these calculated features that, you know what I'm saying? And after that just was done for me. I'm like, man, this guy just no shout out, no, hey, Dan wanted to try this idea. You didn't nothing. You just stole my idea, didn't even know how to put it into action correctly. And the results just came out funky. Nobody, what did you think was going to happen?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? None of it made sense to me. I was just like, wow, this is it. And that's when I just stopped talking to Ken.
Yeah.
So
it's wow. I didn't know that. That's well, just so that you know, a friend of mine, Paul Drone Bum, did it a couple of weeks ago.
I love Drone Bum.
Yeah, we're good friends. He did it with a Tello, Dan, inside a truck, and it stays inside the truck, just so that you know. And unbelievable. I'm like, yeah, he was getting a kick.
Okay. The problem with that is it has optical flow. Remove the optical flow sensor, and now we're talking.
Then what would happen? It would leave, right? It would just stay in that one space, wouldn't it?
Well, now that's the question, because nobody's done it. I got so mad after Ken tried the idea without even talking to me first that I just didn't even want to revisit it.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So what really happens? What really happens with a drone when it's in an airtight compartment? I would have been willing to go down and pay for a ticket down here with our Amtrak. I would have been willing to talk to the conductor and be like, hey, I just need you to pull out of station at 10 miles an hour and then back this sucker up. I just got to test a theory. Can we do that? I'll give Amtrak all the shout outs you guys want for this, man, for being super cool. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But we have got to put this to the test.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah. Very talented man, though. A very talented man. So, Ken, I'm talking about. But oh man. Anyway, amazing. Yeah, I hope I get famous enough to have them problems, and at the same time, when I have them problems, I hope I'm able to keep my integrity and to keep my who I am, which I think I will. But it's just about humility, and I believe that it's inside you. It comes out when.
Yeah, man. I'm trying. I'm really trying here, bro. I have been douched over so many times in this hobby now. And it's either been companies doing it to me, like Hubson, stealing my ideas and firmware packages that I built and then saying that they're theirs, or it's been other YouTubers, man. I don't know, man. It's crazy.
Start keeping your ideas to yourself there, buddy.
I can't, man. I want to share them with the world. All I ask is for just a touch of acknowledgement. That's it. That's all I want. Just acknowledge I did something to help everybody. That's all I asked for, man. It feels good to be told that you're doing something right every once in a while. You know what I mean? It feels good to have someone thank you for what you're doing.
They'll be the first one to call you an asshole, right? But they won't. Right. You did a nice job.
They won't tell you did a good job.
Yeah.
Well, that's the way the world is. Yeah. Everybody complains and very few people compliment. It's the same thing with news. Bad news is, people they report bad news, but they don't report the good news.
Yeah, I know. It becomes such a negative world.
It's the NASCAR effect. We all come for the crash.
Hey, how many viewers we got in here? We drive everybody away with all that.
Yeah, we still got 16, and I'm such a nothing channel here. I still wonder why anybody would want to watch me, but talk about humility, guys. I'm just,
who needs you, Mitch? Go sit. I'm having a conversation with Dan.
Right.
Dan, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
How do you read the freaking? I'm so overwhelmed with all this technology where I'm looking on the screen and you're talking, and then to have to read the chats and then tap in the chat. I'm just not there yet, dude. I can't do it. And it's funny you said that. So how many's watching? I totally forgot we were even on TV.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't. I'm sure some of this will make its way back to Ken, Billy, and Ken.
No, then I'll be on their shit list. Come on, guys.
All right. So look, man, everything I've said is all on me tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
No,
these boys are not taking any part or any credit for anything that happened here.
Yeah,
Ken even played one of my videos on his show. I was so flattered. But he really didn't. He played pieces of it and he edited it up a little bit and put different music on it. But he did play it, and for a new guy like me, that's a real compliment.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, and that's understandable. If he's played anything of mine, it's probably what not to do.
Mike, your videos. I love your videos. Being from Philly myself, I love those Philadelphia videos.
They're just you got to be so careful. And Dan, I don't know if you have this problem, and that's my biggest thing. Especially being in a city or just any flight, really. People forget that the drone regulations and the drone rules are different in every country and sometimes state to state. So I can't tell you how many times in the comment I'll get, boy, oh boy, the FAA is going to come to your door. You flying at night, you're flying at this, you're over this, you're over that. And it's like,
I get it all the time.
Yeah. I thought it was allowed to fly at night. What are you talking about? There was no people. There's a few cars, but they're protected. What is going on here? And then when you go, you find out in their country they can't fly at night.
Right.
I just wish that instead of doing something like that, people could just ask and maybe say, "Hey, guy, where you from? Where I live, we're not allowed to fly at night. Is that legal where you're at?" And ask a simple question instead of right away wanting to kill you and get thrown in jail.
It happens all the time. So I mean. Technically, man, it used to be a toss-up, like they didn't want you to fly at night in the U.S., but now they've kind of made that a regulation. Like, no. The only way that you can really fly at night, or you're supposed to at this point, is if you have lights on your Solo. I'm sorry, I said Solo because mine does have
yeah, Dan, I did the rule.
Lights.
You have to have orientation lights. Blue in the back, red in the front, white on the top. So I'm being seen from all different directions. And at night, guys, I see my drone much better.
Yeah, you'd be surprised, man, because I have high bright LEDs that attach to the Solo, and I'm telling you right now, I can see my Solo 3 miles away.
Yes.
That's how bright they are. It is insanely bright.
Yeah, they would happen to be Firehouse, would they?
What's that?
I use it's something called a Cree Firehouse light, which is just amazing. They're made by Firehouse is the name of the company.
Oh, no. Mine is made by Polar Pro, and they plug into the extension bay on the Solo, and they just attach to the front and the back. And Trust me, I'll make a flight one of these times, and I'll show you just how bright it is. I'll send it out a mile.
Yeah,
over the water, and I'll show you guys on my crappy camera that you can still see it a mile out.
Yeah. So yeah, how do you handle that, Dan? When you get people in the chats that are wanting to turn you in, and how do you? What's the best way to handle it? I mean,
well, I deal with trolls all the time, so my go-to is immediately tell them to go eat a fat one. But I have been polite during. It depends on the situation. Okay. You'll find that most of the time, man, I will chew them up and spit them out and project the correct information, and then I will pin the comment at the top to let everybody else eat them alive. So you're not going to argue with me now. You're going to argue with all my followers. You know, that dude will get so irritated that he'll just stop commenting and disappear because he doesn't want to deal with all the trolling activity that he'll get from the rest of the group that follow me.
That's a good idea.
So it's yeah. So just say your piece, and that's the end of it. Don't keep returning for more comments. Just tell them what you have to, pin the comment, and let your followers do the rest.
Gotcha.
It's more fun that way. And then you come back, and there's like 67 comments, and the dude's ready to blow his brains out because he's so triggered.
I know. Or call every FAA, every policeman, everything you could possibly get your ass in trouble. Which
I'm waiting for somebody to do that, dude. I've been trying. Somebody keeps telling me they're going to do it. I'm like, do it then. What are you waiting for, bro? God, the suspense is killing me more than you are. Let's get this over with, killer. It's like,
oh, well.
You know?
Yeah, it's not fun. Trust me. That part.
I've already sat down with my FAA twice and got a fine both times, so that's nothing new to me. I have no problem doing it again.
How much are fines, Dan? Are they?
Well, I incurred one for flying too close to Busch Gardens. Busch Gardens actually turned me in, and then I incurred another one for crossing a street, a major street, and that's when they still weren't allowing it really. Okay. No crossing streets. Now you can do it as long as people are in their vehicle and you're not flying over just random people's heads.
Correct.
You know? So at the time, there was a law basically against it saying you can't. Like, you just don't fly over streets. And it was like, okay. So I actually, by the time I was done, it was about $375 worth of greatness. I had to sit down with an FAA instructor for about 2 hours and go over my flight footage that they pulled from YouTube.
Wow.
And had a long discussion. And they told me to remove the videos. And I said, as far as I'm concerned, I just paid for these videos. They are now mine. So, no, I'm not going to remove them.
Wow.
So now, yeah. And they had no choice. They tried to get me to remove them. And then I found out they were just malarkeying the whole time. They had no control over what I did with the video after the fact. They were just holding me accountable for the rules. So that was Busch Gardens telling them they want the videos removed. Busch Gardens then needs to come after me because I'm not taking them down. And obviously they didn't. So.
How long ago was that?
Almost 2 years ago now.
You're not going to hear any more about it for sure.
Nope, it's done. So
now, have you ever been contacted by the police or by anybody else?
I've talked with. Actually, I have a whole video on speaking with detectives because I flew next to a school and some guy called on me, and I had to sit there and talk to a bunch of detectives. And then I had to deal with the police for an RC boat. We were told we couldn't. An RC boat. We were told we couldn't run our RC boat in nature's classroom. Yeah. So basically, what was funny to me is that it's a boat ramp, and it was a public boat ramp, and I was out there, and somebody called because it was making too much noise. And it does. Don't get me wrong. It sounds like an angry little jet ski. And so, but the point was, it's only a 12. You know, it's a little over a 2-foot boat. It's not like it's a massive boat making tons of wake. You know, it's a little tiny boat that makes a little bit of wake, man. Like, what are we talking here? 4-inch waves? Come on. You know. So, anyways, I had to deal with police. They told me I couldn't run the RC products in nature's classroom anymore.
nature's classroom. Yeah, you're terrorizing the manatees, man.
Yeah, you're terrorizing the fish and the alligators. And what's funny about that is if you watch my channel and you've been with me a while, I actually had an alligator eat one of my RC boats.
Oh, wow. That'd be fun.
I have a whole video of that.
Oh, I gotta watch that. And I didn't see it.
Hey guys, keep talking. I'm going to be right back. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So
Keep going.
Did they
We're doing a good job of that anyway.
Yeah. Did they threaten you at all, or did they?
No. I listen. I talked to the detectives.
Okay.
That was my only drone-related incident with the police.
Gotcha.
I talked to the detectives and I said, "Look, okay." I pulled up my maps and I said, this is absolutely a fly zone. Okay. I get that you guys think you have the ability to tell me to leave. You do not.
Right.
Okay. I would be more than happy to challenge that. If you want, we can call an FAA coordinator out here. I'd be more than happy to have a talk with him. Gotcha. Okay. But as of right now, you don't have jurisdiction over my activities. Okay.
Gotcha.
I get it. You're an official police officer. I understand that. You're a detective of whatever, Tampa PD Police Department. That's all fine and gravy and dandy. But I've done nothing wrong, okay? To go a step further, even though I don't have to do this, I'm going to give you my registration number for my drone, and I'm going to show you the flight footage if you request it so you can see my activities up to this point.
Gotcha. Okay?
Very, very good. Well, that's me being nice. I don't want their first interaction with the drone pilot to be a nasty one, but I will put them in their place. I will explain what the rules are, and I'd be more than happy to answer for anything I've done wrong.
And that's why it's so important to know your rights and to know the rules. And I'm just starting to get into all that. I knew common sense. I knew all that, and obviously you don't want to hurt anybody, and and the basics and what you hear on YouTube, but I never really dug into them. And recently I've been starting to dig into them, so that just for the reason that you just mentioned, so that if I'm stopped or, I want to be able to quote, a number and say, well, right here, .64 says I can do this and says I can fly at night and it's perfectly legal. And here goes the footage. Look, I'm not doing anything other than grabbing some beautiful video, and so that's important. But speaking of the police and all, I actually had a similar experience, but I guess when you get older, you really don't want any of them problems, but what I had made a serious mistake, and I didn't realize how close to an airport I was. And where I'm at, if I fly in one particular direction, it gets it within that 5-mile bubble. And I'm outside the bubble, but if I fly in a certain direction, I get inside. And then to compound that problem, it happened to be the Philadelphia Eagles opening day. And not only did I get inside the bubble, but there was
temporary flight zone.
Yes. And triple it was a stadium full of people. So now I did not go in that stadium, but what I did do is fly in a parking lot well outside the stadium, and then I zoomed in, which made things look like I was a lot closer. And so I did get a knock on the door, and I even said in the video, hey guys, look, I am nowhere next to this. I know you're not supposed to be in a stadium. Please don't get the wrong idea. I'm just, look how cool this is. And I was all excited, and I thought it was okay, and I wasn't. And but the killer is, it's like they actually, you're being accused basically of terrorism at that point, because they're afraid that you're going to hurt masses of people. And I was so insulted by it, more than anything. But the end result was we became really good friends, and thank God that they came at me very friendly, and after a couple minutes talking to me, they realized that I had no harm will. I just was a guy who loved the hobby, and yeah, and that's all it was. And I was more than willing to show the footage and all that. But they did warn me, please study the rules and, do not fly that way. And so I have not, and I do not go anywhere in that direction anymore. I just don't need the hassle. I don't want the problems. And so, but it was scary. I gotta be honest with you. When you get that knock on the door and you're like, well, wait, I didn't do anything wrong. What are you here for?
Well, I actually print out pamphlets that have most of the major codes and stuff on them, violation codes, and
You carry them with you when you fly?
I carry them with me. It also explains our rules and regulations, and I update it as needed. That way, when a police officer stops me, I can just hand it to him. Here you go. Read this first, and then we'll have a talk.
Very good idea. Yeah. I'm actually considering doing the same thing.
They don't have a clue. They don't know. Why would they?
Don't.
It's not something they deal with, or they train them on any of these things.
Nope.
It's foreign.
Well, that's what's funny to me is that the FAA is saying now that public officials, being standard police officer, instead of FAA, they're going to give them jurisdiction to be able to stop and talk to drone pilots and ask for things like registration numbers now. And so apparently they're going to be getting some basic learning skills applied, which if I know anything about the government, it's not going to be super basic. They're going to have a major book printed out for them so they can look up all the codes and statutes.
Oh, maybe that'd be a good thing. If they have the real information in front of them, they might.
Right.
I don't know about that, guys. I mean, I live in a major city, and whenever you have interaction with the police in this city, it's never a good thing. I mean, maybe 1 out of 8, 1 out of 10 visits, but even when you get pulled over for a stop sign, it's not, you got to literally.
Okay.
Whew.
The first thing you do when you're talking to a police officer, and this goes for anybody who's listening still, the first thing you do when a police officer approaches you is turn around and say, please give me 1 sec. I'm going to bring my drone back and land it so that we can have a safe discussion. Okay? Correct. That lets them know that you are on their level. Okay? Correct. You're not here to put up a fight. You're not going to battle with them. You want safety is #1 priority here. And if I'm talking to you, officer, I can't focus on my drone making for an unsafe situation.
Correct.
So let me please bring this back and land it. Then we can have a discussion without having to worry about the safety of everyone involved. Okay.
Correct. And they should understand that.
And they will. If they touch you or grab you at that point, that's really like going to look extremely bad on them. You know what I'm saying? So I would say that most of the time they're probably going to concur with you and know that this is probably going to start off as a very friendly thing. Okay. Then have your book of knowledge ready, because some of them are prepared for you and some of them might not be. But the more you know, the less you'll get in trouble for.
Yeah, I mean, right now, Dan, in the city, I'm about to release a video. I mean, they're totally friendly. As far as drones, I mean, right now, I did a flight this morning, and there was a policeman parked behind me. And before I did the flight, I didn't want him seeing me stand in the middle of the street with all this, stuff in my hand, looking up at Center City. And, I didn't want him to think that I was a terrorist or anything. So I let him know what I was doing. And he's the nicest guy in the world. Oh, sure, sir. Go ahead, dude, just please be careful. And I actually show him on the video. In the beginning of the video, you'll see me point back at the car and say, hey, there's a guy here. I just talked to him. I should have got it on video. I'm sorry I didn't get it. But yeah, he's parked right here. But he was as nice as can be. Nice. And most of the time I get the same question from them. How far can you fly with it? How high does it go? And how much it costs?
Those are the traditional RC questions.
Yeah.
Get them for 50 years.
Correct. So it's I just worry that once they have authority, once they have power, oh shit, what's going to happen? And that's what scares me a little bit. So I better brush up on the rules and do what you say. As far as bringing the regulations with me, this way I can show them they're not. I'm not just making them up. Here you go.
Right. So here's the statutes that we fly under. Here's the basic rules and principles that we go by. I've even included in there state parks, city parks, and public parks. That way you have an understanding of each zone. I'd be more than happy when I land to show you that this is not a flight restricted area unless something has been added in as a temporary flight restriction that I'm unaware of, and I'm sure that you are here to let me know that's the case. Then we can talk, and that would be my fault. I didn't know. Apparently, the app that I'm using didn't update that information this morning to let me know this is a temporary flight restricted area. So, that's and that's why I suggest, guys, if you are using your device to tell you what your flight restrictions are, the best one to go with is Air Maps, just because they work closely with the FAA to make sure that it's updated regularly. And that's the one. They try to let you know when stuff is going active before it happens. That way you don't show up somewhere with expectations you're going to fly. They actually, most of them will update airport ATC tower numbers, addresses, what airports are currently in your vicinity, whether it's 1, 2, 3, or 4, whether they're intersecting airports. I mean, they do a very good job of keeping up with proper data. So if any of you don't have those apps yet, I would suggest Air Maps.
Yeah.
And I think the other one I use.
Oh yeah, Air Maps is a terrific app. I've been using that ever since I started with these drones, and
I also like the UAV
forecast.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. That's great for telling you KP index, which is what a lot of you should be paying attention to now, is KP index. I don't know if does everybody have an understanding of KP index here?
I have no idea.
Okay, well, it's a lot to explain. Let's just say that it has a lot to do with your drone flying away on you. If the KP index is too high, it has a lot to do with the Earth's magnetic pull.
Gotcha.
And that weighs heavy on drones, so you should never fly over a 3 KP index in your area.
Really?
Okay? So 3 and under.
What's nice about that app is that you get the big grid on there, and then if you see you'll see a red block, and the rest of them are all green. It's very easy to note it. It's not. You shouldn't be flying.
Correct. Yeah, and you set them parameters. Trust me, I made that mistake by setting my parameters wrong and going outside and going, the winds are blowing 100 miles an hour, yet it's telling me I'm okay to fly. And then when I looked at my settings, it's like, oh, well, you set it for 40-mile-an-hour winds, and I'm like, Jesus God, no. So at that point, yes, I looked at went into the instructions. Okay, what's my drone rated for? Okay, I feel it's rated for 22. Let me go 15, and just so I get a warning at that point. And then, but that I'm talking about when I first started. But I get back to this KP. So KP high is no good. You want the lower.
Yeah. So 3 and under is acceptable. That's about the conditions you want to fly them. Anything over a 3, man, it'll actually start to really tamper with your compass, and that's normally when flyaways occur. Is when the KP index for your area is too high. So if it's not like a 4 or 5 or a 6, dude, you're just asking for your drone to fly away during mid-flight.
Dude, what does it stand for, Dan? KP?
Oh, God, I can't remember, man. I just remember what the whole, I'd say just Google it. But it gives you, Googling it'll probably give you the best explanation, man. It has a lot to do with the magnetic pull of the Earth's gravitational pull, anyways.
I will absolutely look at that, because I didn't know. I'll be honest with you. I knew it was something important, obviously, but I looked at all the rest, and thank you for telling me that. I didn't know that. We're gonna touch there, buddy. You're a wealth of a plethora
of knowledge. Yeah, man. But this is what I was trying to tell you guys. I learned all of this through building platforms and doing, it's like the more I learned about different GPS signals and what I can use for this, the further it made me have to research, until all of a sudden I started, I had a really good understanding of a lot of, we talked the other night about what's called settling the power. And there's things that most drone pilots don't even know exist that happen to drones. And this is why they fall out of the sky. This is why they fly away. These are things I think everybody should have the knowledge about. But had I never looked into any of this stuff, I wouldn't even, nobody had ever told me to watch out for VRS. Do you guys know what VRS is?
No.
Okay. It's vortex ring state. You ever heard that term before?
No, I have not.
Okay, so VRS plugs quad rotors heavily. It is a very scary thing that can happen to a drone while you're flying. It normally happens to birds that are descending too fast or are overweight.
Yes, I've heard of that.
Okay. It's where you basically fall into your own turbulated air, and then it just free falls out of the sky. No matter how much power you give it, you can't get out of the stall.
Correct.
And it does happen to drones. A lot of Phantom 3s went down. I've heard of Phantom 4s going down because of it. The sensors are only good if it can maintain altitude. The sensors go right out the window once it starts to free fall. They're not any good to you, because all they're going to do is keep trying to increase the power while it free falls, which will just speed its descent to the Earth.
Yeah, and so just so that people know, when the barometer goes bad, that shit happens as well.
Yep.
Because I have going through that problem right now with a Mavic 2 Pro. that I have barometer issues when it gets cold. And all I can say, Dan, is thank God I didn't have to fly a race drone, because I was over rooftops and all kinds of things, and the barometer went, and it was literally like pulling the air out of a balloon. It just all of a sudden turned into a race drone. And, not without flips, obviously. But, I couldn't do backflips and rolls and split S's. But, man, I was controlling it with throttle and steering it with throttle and yaw and all that. And, like, wow. But it threw me for a loop. And, but it only happens when it's, colder than 35 degrees.
See, you don't see Ken talking about stuff like this. You don't see Billy talking about stuff like this, because they're not drone enthusiasts.
Right.
They're just DJI fanboys. There's a big difference between being a hobbyist and being a fanboy, and that's what Ken Heron is. That's what Ken. I will give Ken Dono this, the original Dono. He does look into things a little more. From the technical aspect than the rest of the boys do. But
I'll tell you who just is really got heavy into FPV stuff is Ed Ricker.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. He's got a big channel too. And I'm going to do it, Dan. I've got the FPV bug, being an old RC helicopter guy.
Sure.
And I still have a JR 9303 radio transmitter. Can I use that?
Oh boy. Oh man. I have no idea. I'm running on Fly Sky and Fly Sky.
The FR Sky 900 something, whatever, the DS9's 10 or something is exactly the same radio as the old JR 9303.
Okay. Same protocols?
Well, that's just it. I don't know. I know it doesn't have all that stuff. It had 35 different helicopter protocols in it. You could set it up for everything, but I don't know if I could use it for FPV. But the transmitters are cheap anyway. I was thinking about buying one of those QX7s.
Yeah.
You say go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, Mitch, for $100, the QS7 is awesome, and you could put 35 or unlimited. Birds on it, and it's what everybody's using. So if you need any help, it's all over the place. And but I'll tell you, again, Dan, how about Betaflight? I think I gained. I'm 52, but before I started Betaflight, I think I gained 5 years just in age.
Man, here's what happens with that. So I'm no Betaflight expert. I can set up the switches and do the manual curve PIDs and stuff like that. But as far as tuning goes, bro, I don't even dabble. I just call my buddy Andrew and I'm like, I'm gonna drop this thing off, man. Tune it for me.
That's nice. That's very convenient.
And then I just go pick it up. I'm like, I'm not getting it. Like, it's just flying wonky. I'm looking for something that's a little more tameable. Make it tameable.
Correct.
And then I'll pick it up and we'll fly in his backyard and I'll go, it's still not good enough. I'll pick it up next week.
Correct.
And then when it's ready, I just pick it up and I'm ready to fly. I don't get into the whole tuning. I can get them up in the air and get them flying and have a little bit of fun. But when it comes to tuning and PID curves, like heavy PID curves.
Yeah, from what I understand, Dan, is that the new release, I think it was 3.5, the basic tune that they give, I forget what they call that now. It's been so long. But the defaults, whatever the defaults are for they're fantastic. And from what I understand, with all this new software that just came out, and so whatever it is what it is. So, but I guess what they're trying to do is not make it so hard for people, so that they get more people into the hobby, because it is a turnoff, because it's such a big learning curve.
Right.
Even just buying a drone from GearBest or Banggood, my God, if you don't know Betaflight, you gotta paperweight, because you still have to. They never come, ready to fly. They're never ready to fly ever.
That's debatable. I got the Mantis 85mm with Fly Sky transmitter, and it came out of the box ready to fly.
You had to bind it, right? You had to bind it.
Well, but that's simple. Let's just hold the button down and turn on the transmitter, and then it bound to it. All the switches were already set up.
Let me tell you something. I don't know if it's my age, but binding a drone took me weeks to get over, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because it's different with each protocol. Plug in the battery, then hit the button first, then plug in the battery, hold the button, hold the battery. What do I do? Or whatever I do, can it be the same with everything? But no, Sky, is it FS Sky, FR Sky? No, with that one, you plug the battery in first. Oh, come on. It drove me crazy.
Oh, that's funny.
This day, I'm telling you, because
Back from the Sky says, "Good evening, kind of old guy and a drone." Does that mean that I'm not really old? Wow. Yeah. Well, that's great. That's the first compliment I've had today. Thank you.
Oh man! Hey, listen, guys, I gotta go because the wife is I'm getting in a lot of trouble here. So I told her I'd be going for about 20 minutes, and oh man. So I don't know how to even get off of this, but
you just hit the red button where it says "Hang." Mouse over the screen where your face is, and then you'll see a red telephone, and you hang up.
Now that's my kind of guy. Mouse over the screen. I even needed to know that.
There you go. There you support. Go. No problem.
Thank you so much, Dan. Dan, thank you so much for your conversation.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Dan.
Hey, Dan. Do me a favor, man. I'm going to pop into one of your videos, or you pop into one of mine, whatever. Send me your email so we can contact with each other, okay?
Yeah, it's actually it's in the description of every one of my videos, brother.
Okay. There you go. So that's easy enough for me. Thank you so much for all your help and and just talking, man. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I love doing this, bro. That's what it's all about.
Yes, sir. And I'll talk to you later, Mitch.
All right, buddy. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, so Mitch, what are we doing?
I don't know. It's 7:30, and we got 14 people watching. Anybody want to come into the chat now?
That's what I'm talking about.
I don't have a bad house, so I know that Jim Wallace wanted to come in, and you can certainly do that if you'd like, Jim. Anybody else? Let me know right now.
I'm actually reading through the chat here now.
Yeah, I saw you posted. I gave you your wrench. I hadn't,
No, yeah, because I didn't send anything yet. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why I wasn't staring at the chat the whole time.
You guys were keeping it so busy that I had a chance to sit and talk on the chat, which is unusual.
I can carry a conversation, but it's got to be fun. It's got to be entertaining. It's got to be interesting. It's got to keep my mind kind of bound.
Well, you know what I think? I think that we got 12 viewers. I think it'd probably be a good time to call this quits. I don't want another one of these 5-hour marathons, and I've got some things that I got to do. So as long as we don't have anybody else that wants to come in, I think we'll call it a night for tonight. Now, I do a Tuesday morning thing early at 7:30, Dan.
I will not be awake, so I normally get it.
Most people aren't, but being new, I wanted to kind of have a small thing to get over my gun shyness, which I think I have. And next Tuesday morning, Mike is going to be my co-host, but it's not a Hangouts deal. I'm using OBS, and I'm bringing one guest in Skype. Right. So it's just one, and we're going to feature their videos on the thing, and we're going to talk about stuff and have some fun. And it lasts an hour and a half. But then I figured that a couple times a week, since I have this big setup here, and I need to build some watch hours, I would just come on impromptu, just boom, light it up and see who finds it. And it was fun. It was great. And I think I'm going to continue to do that. So, and I have to look out for your live streams too. And if you see me in the chat room, you say hello. Okay.
Mine are very sporadic. I just kind of pop up and just talk. Sometimes it's with a panel. Sometimes it's just me talking to the people. I try to be as supportive as possible.
No, I see that.
kind of what this is all about, man. I'm not self-indulged by any means. I know I can play the role of the prick sometimes, but I guarantee you, man, I'm really friendly. Really friendly guy.
Well, the next time you come on, turn your camera on so we can actually see you.
Yeah. The problem is, like I said, when I'm at work, I've been doing this at work the whole time.
Oh, wow. You got a nice job there.
Clubhouse manager, man.
And Mike Philly says he's in the chat. He's out of here. Thanks, Mike. Have a nice dinner. And
later, buddy.
What else we got? Brett Nunley's still here, and Roger Price, Jim Wallace. Jim, you can give that a shot if you want to get on for a couple minutes. We'll hang around for you. Do you have the link that I sent you earlier? Thomas, thanks so much. I didn't do much in this show. I sat back here at the conference table. In case you guys are interested, is why you're seeing a green screen behind me on the Hangouts window, and you're not seeing a green screen behind me in OBS, is that I have two cameras. I have one camera for OBS, and then I have a separate camera for Hangouts, because Windows will let you use one camera for two different applications at the same time. So I've got a Sony regular Handycam video camera with a capture box that I'm using for OBS, and that image, which I'm pointing at right here, is the one that has the green screen. Right next to it over here is the camera for the Hangouts window. Just FYI.
I'm glad we had a group of worshipers in here today, man. I love seeing the people that watch me watch everybody else.
Oh, that's good. And there's plenty of this to go around. And more people are doing more and more live streams. When they did that 4,000 hour nonsense, for small channels like me, there's no way that you're going to get enough watch time, because we don't get that many views, a couple hundred views on a video. It's just, it's just not going to get you. So you got to sit here and you got to do the live chats, and then whether I ever make any money at this or not doesn't matter to me. I'm retired. I'm having fun. Get something to do.
However, it does help me pay bills, man. I like the monthly paycheck because definitely helps. I feel like I invest enough time in this that it's nice to be able to get some of that in return. And I don't ask for anything from the people that follow me. All I ask is that you watch the ad at the beginning. That's it. None of you have to donate, nothing. Just please watch the ad. Just one. That's it. That's all I ask you to do, man. That's how I get paid.
Who the voice is. So I just told him it was Dan, Drone Worship the Revolution.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm super nice, man. I always make my ads skippable just in case somebody really doesn't want to sit through them. I feel like I kind of wish everybody would remember that is how we get paid if we are, you know what I'm saying? Like, to me, it's a big portion of my income, surprisingly. So when I have worse months, it sucks. It sucks because I'm like, man, I'm like $170 short of where I needed to be for this bill or this bill. You see where I'm going with that?
I know exactly. So, well, let me ask you a question. Do you primarily fly camera stuff or primarily FPV, or do you do any racing, or is it all of the above?
I get into everything, man. Ground vehicles, water vehicles, helicopters, fixed wing gliders, drones, GPS platform, commercial grade. Kind of do it all. Underwater submersibles.
Do you do any commercial drone work? Do you have a 107?
No, heck no. I'm not sure I'm going to get it either. There's so many drone pilots in Florida already, it almost seems pointless.
Yeah, I suppose. I've got one, and I've done some work over in your area, because my daughter has a public relations company, and she's up in Trinity. You know where Trinity is?
I do know where Trinity, Florida is.
And she's got a lot of customers over there, and I've gotten a couple of drone jobs, commercial jobs, over one in Dunedin. Well, both of them were in Dunedin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm more of the vlogger channel. I like to take adventures and I like to share them with everybody. So I actually just recently opened another channel just specifically for my vlogs, and then because I felt like I was forcing my trips and stuff on people. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to do that because a lot of people are just kind of here for the drone stuff. So I figured, I'm just going to create another channel for my adventures, and I'll do one channel specifically for all my reviews and beta flight and all that fun jazz.
Did you get a good carryover of your subscribers that followed you and subscribed to your second channel as well?
Yeah, I mean, to have almost 9,000 subs, I got 107 of them that came over the first day I dropped the link. So I mean, it happened. That's why I said I felt like I was more or less forcing my adventures on people. I mean, if they were there for the adventures, like they just get the lowest amount of views when I go do a trip, or like the USS Alabama, make a flight of it, take a whole trip to the Smoky Mountains, and share. I like to share my life with everybody too. It's not just I'm making memories as well by doing this. So when my kids grow up, I can show them these things. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, this is the day that me and your mom went and did this. Like, this is it's something that they can look back on. So it's not just for everybody else. It's for me just as much as them.
I talked about this very thing. I think in my first live stream was that the legacy that YouTube is, because if these things manage to stick around and the family don't forget, there may be descendants of mine that aren't born yet that will have an opportunity to actually watch their great grandfather fly drones and talk and vlog. And I wish how wonderful that would be if I had the opportunity, if we all had the opportunity to get to know our ancestors 3 or 4, 5 generations ago. It would be great.
Well, think about this. This is the scariest time for people, lineage and history, because everything's digital based. Like back in the day, you used to take pictures and then you'd go have those pictures made and printed and sent back to you. And then you would store them in a box and you would have those pictures for the duration that you have them. You know what I'm saying? So you could share that family album with upcoming generations. Now, because people aren't taking real digital pictures mostly anymore, they're using their cell phones and videos. Whenever they lose their phone, they lose all that stuff.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
They put them to the cloud, but a lot of people don't really aren't comfortable with that technology.
Sure. But what if that cloud crashes? Like even YouTube, I still have an entire, like I have a couple terabytes now that I just put all my content on. That way, in case anything ever happens, I have all that stuff saved, not just to YouTube, but I have it saved to another platform,
Oh, I got backups on backups, but, I have boxes of old photographs and, you never dig through them. And then I had tons of old videotapes that actually went bad and became useless. And I managed to salvage some stuff off of them. So, if this digital stuff does survive, it'd be great, but who knows? Who knows what this world's going to be like in 100 years from now?
You just reminded me, man. Some of our tapes are over 30 years old. I should probably buy one of those things and see if I can salvage some of our original kid stuff.
Yeah, that I did with some RC flying stuff. I used to fly in Top Gun over there and flew the jets in Top Gun, and they had companies that made videos for us and they sold them on VHS back then.
Right.
And I wanted to, I said one day, holy cow, I wonder if these VHS tapes are really any good anymore. And the quality that I managed to get off of it was terrible, but at least I could still see it.
Yeah. That's I gotta do that, man. I didn't even think about that. Those probably tapes are just breaking down. Heck, I'm 31 now.
Especially if you keep them stored in a hot closet or something like that, Yeah. Well, Jim Wallace he was going to try to come in and he said no link, but I tell you what, Jim, I think I'm getting hungry and I think I'm going to take off. I see that he said Green Bay Wacky went live and
oh boy, Mr.
Wacky. And, this time of night, you get a lot of competition on these live streams, which is why I started it 5 o'clock. I figure, hell, you know, have a few people to myself for a while.
Yeah.
So guys, I'm going to call it a day, and we're gonna do it again in 2 or 3 days, and sometime in the afternoon. If you appreciate it, if you just keep an eye, and if you see me pop up and you want to join in on this, everybody's welcome. So I'm going to do this on a professional manner. I'm going to get the music going. There we are. And I will see you all. Dan, thanks so much for coming in and helping out, and look forward to having you back again.
Sounds good.
Okay, buddy. I'm going to hang up on the Hangouts first. So goodbye, everybody. And that. And now I'm back to this scene again, and I'll see if I can't find the button to shut this thing down. So everybody have a great night, and thanks an awful lot for helping me out. And we'll see you the next time. And I'll catch you all in the other chat rooms over at Rogers and everything else. So take care. Good night. And like I always say, you can take the rest of the day off, go play with your drone, and have a great day. Bye, guys.